cussing mosquito, and they can growl about it. Lonely like old bro Joe. Cartel gonna care for me, not you, cause I'm the CEO. I'm here to fight, looking to sink with my torpedo. I'm just a lap car trying to survive, running in the back, fearing my life. Cause there's a black 2041 guy adding to the junk in the field with some white on white crimes. Or is it 99 maybe? I don't give a damn, but the bake statements lately adding up through the junk that the crazy man's making. Reckon her, reckon him, non-binary maybe, who knows? If I don't like him, I slide him like cussing mosquito, and they can growl about it. Lonely like old bro Joe. Cartel gonna care for me, not you, cause I'm the CEO. I'm here to fight, looking to sink with my torpedoes. Cussing mosquito. And I don't know where we go from here and what we think about it, but it seems to me gotta be about it. Time for talking speed comes across this week, especially when dotting I's and crossing T's. It seems to be what they all want and what they need. And then you'll go, oh no, just like them cars. Down round he goes, and then they get to finally feel like Carson Macedo. If I don't like him, I slide him like Carson Macedo, and they can growl about it. Lonely like old bro Joe. Cartel gonna care for me, not you, cause I'm the CEO. I'm here to fight, looking to sink with my torpedoes. Carson Macedo. If I don't like him, I slide him like cussing mosquito.
Oh my, ladies and gentlemen, Chaz and Code Triple have the same initials, Illuminati. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are here. Oh no, this is how we do. Turn it down. No, this is how we do. We are here. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully broadcast. We are actually using cell phone hotspots right now to be live right now. And we are in some area of Florida. Where the hell are we at, actually? Where are we at?
Well, we're in basically Daytona Beach, suburbia Daytona Beach, Port Orange.
Do you want to give away your location right now this early?
Not exactly, but yeah, we're in the Daytona area.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. They got me caught. I need help, ladies and gentlemen. If somebody track my cell phone before the night's over, that's all I gotta say. But at the end of the day, we are here. We are in a secluded location, no internet. We are working off of my cell phone hotspot. It's actually doing surprisingly impressive. I'm actually very impressed with how the cell phone hotspot is doing. PSA for anybody out there watching right now. I have Verizon. My bill was around $150 a month. I went in there today. I was like, this is bullshit. Let's figure it out. We got to drop this bill. I can't be paying $150 for a phone. It's supposed to be with the watch. I lost the watch a couple years ago. It's almost cheaper to keep the watch on the plane. But regardless, we go in there and we get in there and tell him it's $150 a month. This is bull. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, we can do something about that. So he pulls me over to the table, sits me down, and basically drops my bill by $30 almost instantly. And I'm like, so am I losing service or minutes or hotspot, blah, blah, blah. And he said, no. And I said, well, why is it cheaper? He goes on to explain how when the competitive markets like T-Mobile and AT&T change their pricing and go down, that their pricing goes down with it. And I'm like, so how long has the same plan I've been on been $30 cheaper? Oh, about 3 or 4 months. You fucking kidding me? 3 or 4 months? And I'm like, so why didn't you tell me? He's like, oh, this is just how it works. So I left. He's like, well, you can go message Verizon and they may be able to credit your account for the last 3 or 4 months because it's been this low for that long. The same plan. No different plan. Same plan. I get on the chat with the Verizon people and I'm like, I want my $30 back for the last 4 months of service. And they're trying to figure out why. And I'm explaining to them why. And then they're basically like, well, there's no, the charges made are valid. And I'm like, why are they valid if the same service is $30 cheaper? You should be able to, you should notify us and let the customer know, hey, your services are cheaper. After about a 5-minute back and forth discussion on this subject, we get to a situation where the guy says, did you not receive a notification or email in September 2024 of a plan increase? And I'm like, maybe, but why would I contact you about my plan decreasing if you're telling me it's increasing? And when it happened, because I remember the email, I'm like, well, it's probably increasing, you know, and Trump was about to take over, you know, everything's getting more expensive. So it makes sense. Like, oh, they're increasing the plan price. Okay, I'm just screwed. That's what it is. Everything's more now, you know, eggs and everything, women and everything. They're all just going up in price. Even your attention sometimes is worth more. I'm just saying. And so I go, why would I contact y'all about a plan increase? And he literally says, well, to dispose in certain information about plans decreasing, we have to get your authorization. So the reason he literally laid it out and said, the reason we sent the plan increase notification out was to basically lure people in to ask them why it increased so that they can provide them the decreased rate for the same plan. What kind of reverse psychology is this shit? Who, what? So if you have Verizon, which is who I dealt with today, if you have Verizon services, call them or inquire today because you're more than likely paying $30 more than you should have to, and they're never going to tell you. And more than likely, they didn't tell you your plan's increasing so you can contact them. More than likely, they're just happy to collect $30 hand over fist every fucking month for the same fucking thing. That's probably what's going on. So regardless, I saved $30 a month on my future bills. I'm screwed now because the charges are valid because they wanted to screw me and I was stupid about it. But apparently there's just a bunch of people out there paying their normal rate and getting fucked by $30 because the Verizon or whoever you have hasn't notified you that your plan is actually cheaper now. They don't have an obligation to tell you that your plan has decreased. Any comment on this, CIA Tom?
Hey, sounds crazy to me, but I'm a Verizon guy too. But mine,
You're probably paying more.
well, mine's $50 a month on a prepaid deal, and I've got unlimited on everything, but it's $50, and you know they started at like 80, and then it lowered down $10 a month until it's
Right, well, that's what
50.
they got me at is 80.
50.
Now it was at like 99. Now it's or 100 or 105 or whatever. Now it's at 80.
Yeah, that's crazy. Sounds about right though. You just never know in this day and age, and you do have to keep an eye on them because uh, they changed mine without me knowing, and I lost my cloud coverage. They wanted to charge me for the cloud, and then I lost a bunch of my pictures when I lost my phone. Ran over on my gold wing trike, ran it over and lost my phone, and then I was screwed and lost 3 years of my life. And it was bad too. I mean, it seriously was like, let me see, how would I say? I was actually really emotionally hurt by it, you know, by losing all those memories. Yeah. It was like sort of like, you know, I can only equate it to like losing a girlfriend or something back in the day, you know, or something like that,
When
or
you were
someone
younger.
close. Yeah. Yeah, when I was much younger.
Well, he's got women all the time over here. I mean, it's insane. I didn't know that money brought so many happy. No, you ain't got no damn money. But no, I'm kidding. He doesn't bring women in and out every day. Enough bullshit. Let's talk racing. You're not going to run this show, Rocco, so you can leave if you want. Thanks for the super chat, Colin Phillips. We do have the YouTube chat back with this situation. Hold on. We got, yes, you see a burning house. This is what we're talking about today. This is what we're talking about today, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. We got to get this. We got it. We're trying to do special things here. Oh, my. Look at that. You don't even know how this works. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, my. Anyways, there we go. Enough with the bullshit. Let's talk racing. Somebody said, ha ha ha, the cell phone screw job. Colin Phillips with the super chat. The mad Puerto Rican loves the song too. So we could be talking about that. Let's go ahead and jump into that. So you are a witness to this. The plans in Florida have changed. Okay, so 2 nights ago, we talked about how we were going to go to Sebring this weekend. I haven't been. I also mentioned Hendry County had their swamp cabbage event. Thought about going there. We said if we're going to Sebring, we're going to be getting a tent and a damn cot, and we're going to be back roughnecking this shit and going fishing and everything. So, just yesterday, you were a witness to or today, actually. Today, the guys at Hendry County heard that the Chaz was in town, I guess, on this video. And they're like, you got to get your fat ass down here, basically. And so we're going to Hendry now. We're going to be covering, apparently Tim McCready's going to be running a factory stock, $22,000 to win this event. Joey Coulter's down there, a bunch of crate late mile guys. It's a $15,000 to win crate late mile race, $22,000 to win factory stock race. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be this Friday and Saturday down in Clewiston, Florida. Now, Clewiston's pretty far south, is it not?
Yes, it is. It's the southernmost track in the country, I believe. That's what they claim.
And it's cold here this week. It's not the warmth it's been all this time, so it's not that bad. Whatever. He's from Michigan. We're going to get into that. Yeah. But anyway, so we are not camping this week, but we do have now officially, thanks to the mad Puerto Rican and to the CIA. The CIA always helps us out here on the Chaz, and to good pricing, I'll say. Good pricing. Went to Academy. I couldn't believe how good the deals are at Academy. We do have the tent now. We officially have a tent with collaborative funding. A core tent. You saw it. A core. 6-person. Talk about it.
Very nice. It was the smartest deal for the money, for sure. And looked like it's going to be good quality, and hopefully it'll hold up for Chaz and come in handy, when he needs it. And I think it's going to work out really well for him. And he's pretty excited about it. And I'm like, if it was me, I wouldn't be quite so excited about sleeping in a tent at my age. But, hey, you got to do it. You got to do it at certain times. And, fortunately, you're not going to have to use it this weekend is a whole nother subject matter. So that's kind of nice. You've got a gig down at Hendry Motorsports or Hendry, the Speedway down at Clewiston. And like I say, they claim to be the southernmost track in the country. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. Kind of cool.
And so we actually do have a picture of the tent that we got here. Oh, don't want to move the underground Tom. We are going to be talking with Tom here very soon. It's going to be interesting. You stay tuned for that shit. But this is the actual tent. It is a core equipment 6-person instant tent, and this thing's badass. They had like a little diagram of it. It pops up instantly. Very good material. This is kind of a look of it from one end. You got the little hanger bag. Comes with all types of accessories, areas to hang things. You obviously got a cord insert, a bag off the roof, and it's a 6-person pop-up instant tent. It goes up relatively quick. It says you can set this thing up in 2 minutes. We were thinking about the big 10-person tent for the room and everything, but this seemed to be the best. And we got a cot given to us by the Puerto Rican So we're ready to rock. I mean, the only thing we may get is a canopy, and they had canopies at Academy for $50. I didn't know if yeah, it is cheap. I didn't know if I was going to be able to fit it in the car. Today we basically spent 2.5 hours cleaning out the car, vacuuming the trunk, cleaning things out, rearranging things, bagging things up. I had some loose tools. We got the tools all confined in different areas. Even had some old school camping equipment that we would use sometimes at Eldora, some we hadn't used before. But we are all set up now, and we are going to do a camping venture. But the problem with the camping venture after Hendry, because after Hendry, we're going to more than likely go to St. Pete for the IndyCar race. I'm currently in discussions with some IndyCar teams who are interested in the Chaz going to the IndyCar race. We may do some camping after Hendry, but then you have this Plant City. What is this? Can you explain Plant City, or is there some kind of CIA code to Plant City that I don't understand? What's the deal?
Well, it's got nothing to do with plants as far as.
You sure about that?
Yeah, it doesn't. Mr. Plant, I didn't have any idea, but he was a train guy, and he made Plant City where all the trains came into, and then that was like it's centrally located pretty much. Well, not really. It's closer to Tampa than Orlando, but they made all the trains come through Plant City to go all over Florida, and it's just what they did. And I had no idea. It's the strawberry basically capital of Florida. They grow all the strawberries for the United States here in Plant City and out in Central Valley out in California, of course.
So for everyone to understand, this is the racetrack down here, Clewiston. This is the big lake,
Okeechobee. Lake Okeechobee.
And so this is the big lake here. We're over here in this area near Daytona Beach. It's actually a hell of a drive. So we're all the way up here near these love things. This love spot, see, like I was saying, southeast of the lake.
Southeast.
Yeah, this is the actual racetrack right here, Hendry County Motorsports Park.
Well, let me get your. To me, that's southwest of the lake.
Oh, I have west and east backwards.
You do, because I was right.
You were right
Again.
Twice.
Oh man, that's a shame, Chaz.
It's definitely a detour to go over here.
It's a long way. Yeah.
So,
but we do it.
So I was trying to find Plant City. You zoom in halfway, and there it is. It's right there.
Okay.
Plant City.
Yep.
Whoa. Right there, outside of Lakeland, Winston, Hopewell Garden. What is Dinosaur World?
Well, that's Dinosaur World. It's they got fiberglass, these big fiberglass dinosaurs, and they take kids there and stuff. It's not too far from.
Well, and see, I favorited this place, this little bitty state park here. It looks like there's a lot of alligators in this thing.
Oh yeah, probably.
But it has some nice areas to be able to potentially tent camp up in here and do some killing of something.
Yeah.
Animals.
Yeah, at least you're far from Okeechobee, and you won't have the boa constrictors coming after you like in Lake Okeechobee.
They're up in here still.
Oh yeah.
Anything in this whole entire, they said anything south of Orlando is boa constrictor country. I mean, they're migrating. They don't have no natural.
I have heard that. Other than there's a couple of famous girls that actually hunt them all the time. Down there in Okeechobee, they're playing. Yeah, but listen to this.
Are after big long things.
I know, and I guess they got a bounty on them now, and I guess they're paying $100, and then so much so much an inch or so much a foot longer. I think so much a foot longer that they pay on top of that, and I guess these girls are down there just tearing them up. And making a whole bunch of money.
If we go catch snakes, I can make.
You can make some money. That's one way to do it. It don't sound very fun to me.
It sounds interesting,
You might be able to hit the jackpot, Chaz.
So obviously, this heart down here is the racetrack.
Sure.
We're up here near these hearts. This is kind of the trajectory of the drive.
Mm-hmm.
So we're up here near these hearts.
Yeah.
These are some friends and places.
Mm-hmm.
And,
sure.
Another place there. This is the track down here.
Mm-hmm.
St. Petersburg's where the IndyCar race is.
Yep.
You're over here near Lakeland.
Yep.
There's Sebring still. I haven't.
It's in the middle. We go right through it. We go right through it on the way home.
Well, I haven't seen the racetrack. Where is it?
Oh,
Oh, it's right here. Okay.
yep.
So this
It's
is the
very
racetrack. Apparently, it's the or America's first road course because it used to be a military airport
base.
base.
Mm-hmm. And I remember 1968 when I first came. I used to, be a young kid, reading Hot Rod magazine from one end to the other and all kind of different racing magazines ever since I was a kid, and hearing about Sebring, and we came to Florida in 68, and my parents drove us by there and stuff and like that. I mean, there was nothing going on, but fact of the matter is we went there, and not to, another time on vacation, went to Watkins Glen and stuff like that. So that was like really cool to me as a young kid to, have my dad actually take the time to, drive by there and instead of blowing it off. And so I've been to tracks all over, all my life, all over the country. And
Well, and I've never been to Sebring, but
it's
I was
really
gonna go
nice.
the 12 hours now.
Yeah.
Because we're not gonna go this week due to injury.
Right.
The 12-hour, that's the big race right here.
It
I was
is.
looking at tent areas and tent videos. There really wasn't nothing for this weekend, but the
Mm-hmm.
Sebring 12 hours is like a party, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. So we're definitely gonna use a tent then.
And it's really cool too because that area is a lot of car guys. I mean, it's just weird that there's all
Looks
kinds of.
very watery. I mean, that's a lot of lakes down there.
Well,
So
there are some, but I'm just saying there's these guys that build these like barn dominiums, and where you can work on your cars and everything and actually live inside the place
they got a
too. And
speakeasy?
I don't know. I doubt it's probably what it's called, but who knows?
You know what a real speakeasy
Yeah.
is. You know what the meaning for that is, right?
Nope. Tell me what
Well,
you're.
a speakeasy is like when the prohibition was
Right.
happening. That was the places that they would
Mm-hmm. They
they
would
would
hidden.
nickname
They'd
them. Hit 'em-
and
hit
they'd
'em.
stay open until 3, 4 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning or all night or whatever. And you'd have to go up and knock on the door so many knocks or whatever, and then they'd slide the little wood thing over and look out. Kind of like a Mason thing, kind of like a Masonic thing.
Like a Masonic.
Yeah, they'd go and
But for
open the
women-
door and look out and see who was there, if it was the cops or not.
My ex-girlfriend was a raging alcoholic, so that was like her racetrack.
Oh.
To go to bars and to go to speakeasies and just get drunk.
Whatever.
I mean,
It's not doesn't sound fun to me.
It doesn't. It sounds very depressing and sad, just like she was.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's why I said X there.
Yeah, I hear
Where's
you.
the racetrack at St. Petersburg?
Well, it's in the streets, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a
Where
street.
is it?
I don't know.
Where do you do it?
Hell if I know. Down in the streets, they put up barricades and they make a big deal out of it, like when they do the
Well, is it
Detroit
on the
Grand Prix and all
beach?
that. I don't think so. I think it's in town. It's just that's how I remember it.
It's the St. Pete Grand Prix, right?
Mm-hmm. I guess. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Just like the Detroit Grand Prix. I mean, they just do
Oh,
it.
it's right here. Here it is.
Did they find it? Okay.
It has to be right here.
Okay.
It has to be, right? Firestone Grand Prix.
Whatever.
It has to be somewhere in here. I've never been to a street race.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like it'll be fun.
Well, they just run regular streets and put up concrete barricades just like you see on I-95 or any of these interstates, and put the people where they think they're going to be the most
Somebody
safe.
said there's good fishing in the lake behind Legoland. What is Legoland? I did
It's
see
over-
that's near Plant City.
Yeah,
right?
it's not. It's over at Lakeland or past Lakeland on the way toward Orlando.
I am so
Legoland.
surprised my phone is handling this right now. Legoland.
Mm-hmm.
Is Legoland cool?
If you're into Legos, I'm not a Lego guy. I'm a little
They're
past
very
that.
popular.
They are for little kids, and whoever's into that.
Well, speaking of little kids, do we go into your CIA operations now?
Probably not.
Oh, come on. That was the perfect Pizzagate subject.
Well, I mean, Pizzagate's one thing too.
We can't be saying that. They're going to narc us right now. We're going to be shut off instantly. All of a sudden,
Yeah,
the
your
internet
bandwidth will
has
go to hell.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't talk about it. So Legoland's right here.
Yeah.
There's 3 or 4 lakes around
Yeah.
Legoland.
So what one, man?
Now, question.
Mm.
Is there... Okay. I don't know if we could talk too much. Hold on. Let's get the chat up on the screen.
Let's see what they got to say.
Let's get the chat up on the screen. Big crappie, really big crappie under the barrels.
Mm.
This guy acts like you're a local. Are you a local to Florida?
He must know something. Well, I mean, but like I know guys that fish Lake Okeechobee down there where we were. They come from Missouri and all over to fish down in Lake Okeechobee back years ago. I I think there's good fish in there. They have
Somebody
turned.
says you have no mic for the last 10 minutes. Well, yeah, but you can still hear me, right? Like, I guess they don't see the mic, so they don't think I can talk. I'm right here. Can't you hear me? You heard me screaming, I'm sure. No, I have a friend that lives on the lake near Lego Island or land.
Legoland. It's just it's a place like Disneyland. It's
Yeah,
Legos.
but it's
It's all
Legos with
yeah.
little kids running around.
Right.
And he lives on that lake.
Mm.
That's a scary mixture.
Yeah, somebody's got to live there.
Okay. So that's the update with the traveling plans. The Puerto Ricans set me up with the cot. The CIA helped set me up with a tent.
That's all I have.
We're gonna canopy her up, and then not can or pee, not peeing in a can. We might pee in a can. I mean, apparently it's safe.
Mhm.
And then the only thing we're missing is power. But you say you have an idea.
I got some ideas.
What's your idea to get power?
Well, I mean, if you don't have an actual cord, then you've got to do a battery pack type thing and run it off that. So
You're gonna jerry rig.
We
You
might.
think you might jerry rig something with some damn batteries? You're saying
Inverter, with batteries and an inverter. We'll figure it out at some point when so you're able to do stuff.
And we may have we're gonna have more information come this weekend. Solar array with the battery pack. I know I want to do a lot of solar stuff too, because if you depend on batteries too much, if the grid goes down and the stores run out, you're fucked. You need some style of solar generation.
Yeah, but solar, 100-watt solar panel, is like the ones like to have. They're like 2 foot by 4 foot or whatever. Put out 100 watts. Well, it takes you forever to charge stuff.
Well, I will say that a guy, the seven quarter guy I was staying with, want to thank Seven and everybody who helped me out the last couple weeks. But he had these little bitty lights, little square lights almost, probably about that big. I'm saying about that big, and it was probably like a square, and one side of it was a solar panel like deal. And those things would work day and night. And then you put it, if it dimmed a little bit, you put it out in the sun for a couple hours, and that bitch was right back to, I'm talking about like 4 or 5, not even have to turn it off.
Yeah, it had batteries inside.
No, it didn't. It only had a solar panel. No, it only had a solar panel. Maybe the technology has developed more than you believe. I don't know.
It had to have batteries inside that it was charging up, because once you take it out of the sun, you got to have storage. That's just all there is to it.
Well, yeah, but if it's a square, all you have to have is some kind of lithium battery or some form of battery that is being charged through that. So that's all that solar charging is. Yeah. So,
right.
I mean, you're harnessing the solar to compress into a battery. Right. So I'm just saying that little device probably did have some form of a battery, but it was working very efficiently without batteries. Don't you think that being battery dependent is a problem? Because if everything you have is battery dependent, whenever the batteries run out, you're screwed.
Well, when they run out, you mean when your batteries run out, when you don't have any and you can't get any more.
Right. Like if the shit hits the fan all of a sudden, you can't buy batteries at the store if the shit hits the fan.
Well, they've been saying that forever though, and it never happened. And I know you don't believe.
Or if you want to be off the grid, you don't ever have to go to the fucking store to have lights or stuff,
Like live like the Amish, right, or something like that. And they're into solar and solar panels and everything too now. So
it does work.
Oh yeah, it works great. I agree with it 100%. As far as that, it's great, but as long as you don't have big power draws on it, you can't.
Like run a refrigerator.
Well, these guys that have them on their RVs, like on the roof, like out in Arizona and stuff like that, where there's lots of sun and that, and then they're putting lithium batteries in, like that look like car batteries inside of their rigs, and they're running like small coolers cooler type refrigerators out of those, and they work really good. But they're low draw and for people living on the road, but they're expensive. But I'm just saying, yeah, their solar units, they're just getting better and better and better, and the battery technology is really, really blowing up. And these lithium batteries, they're they can recharge them 4 and 5 thousand times now. Drain to dead, and then charge them right back up.
Well, speaking of conspiracies, what about the and lithium? Apparently, there's a lot of lithium under the grounds of the areas that were recently flooded.
Sure.
And they're being that and this is so here's the funny thing about this whole conspiracy about the hurricanes flooding out these areas to damage them so the black rocks can come in, take over the areas, and have lithium mines. The movie Twister, which we touched on but didn't get into, the movie Twister is about being able to stop a tornado if it creates. So if a tornado comes, you can stop them. So this rich billionaire guy was paying the bad research team, because there's two research teams. One's that's all great, one's that's all bad.
Right.
And the rich billionaire guy was paying the unknowingly, they were unknown to be bad. They were being paid to research these tornadoes to know where they're coming next, predictability. And the good research team was trying to research, obviously, where they're going, but how to stop them. At the end of the movie, though, the bad research team's funder was kind of exposed. He wanted to know where the tornadoes were going so that he could be the first one on site once the tornado hit to buy the land, pennies on the dollar.
Sounds familiar. Right?
Yes. This was in the Twister movie. And then at the end of the movie, the good team uses a device to save a town, and they send things into the air that killed the tornado.
Right.
So we're talking about geoengineering in that movie in the reverse way. And we're also talking about natural disasters profiting billionaires, because when natural disasters occur, the value of the land goes to shit. And people are in devastation. They don't have money. They're waiting on insurance companies that are within the system and waiting to pay out.
Well,
so that
allegedly,
but if you're waiting in line for an insurance company,
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do if a billionaire comes up and say, "Hey, well, I'll pay you this much for all this land," and you're like, "Well, fuck, I ain't got somewhere to stay. I'm waiting 6 months for an insurance check."
Screw it.
Bam.
Move to Montana.
Fuck it, I'll take your money and I'll just go. Fuck, it's all destroyed anyway. My whole life. You're worried about fucking photos in the cloud. Their whole fucking house is down. That's the manipulational tactic.
It can happen.
So, you're CIA, Tom.
Right.
What is the truth, CIA, Tom? Tell me what it is. True journalist of the underworld.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying, what's the deal, CIA, Tom? Was it real? Is geoengineering a fact?
Geoengineering. I mean, I know, I'm quite sure, and we've had the technology for a long time to move storms. No question about that. They claimed that they did it in Vietnam. That was the first test of it. And we made it rain and flooded out the tunnels and everything in Vietnam, which they were using to move munitions and everything like that. And they have, like, I've been around the world, and stuff like that, and they have rainy seasons and, natural rainy seasons, and it rains, maybe every day for a little bit on and off or whatever like that. But I guess they had over there, we tested it out. That was our first, encounter of it to try to use it in Vietnam War.
Lord, I want to go through the fire.
It's kind of
one of
those deals. So, from what my understanding from people that I know, we have technology, Russia has the technology, and China has the technology to be able to weather manipulate, to move storms and that sort of thing. So was that done in these cases? Who knows, and
Well, and they talk about cloud seeding all the
oh
time.
yeah, that's
The
one thing, that's for
Saudis,
sure.
the Saudis in Abu Dhabi, they see clouds on the regular because they don't want it to be just dry. They see clouds and make it rain in Saudi Arabia in the desert.
Right. Well, and very true. I mean, they've, and even in a lot of places that they want to grow crops, and stuff like that.
They force it.
Yeah, on purpose, They need the rain. They've got to have the rain, and so they cloud seed. That's a whole another technology, though. We were talking about moving storm fronts and directed energy, so to speak.
If you know how to manipulate clouds, that's the first step.
They did. They've done that for a long time.
That's like saying. That's like saying I know how to turn the car on. Seeding a cloud is like
elementary.
That we're turning the car on. That's the first step in driving it and going forward.
Well, they were probably doing that in the 40s and the 50s.
Of course. And that's kind of my.
And then now it's evolved to, in the last probably 25 years, it's evolved into this actual weather, what I guess you'd call manipulation. And that's, I believe, a fact. And I know some people that know, and that's, that, I just happen to know certain ones that are very, very influential in this area.
Okay, so
and we have patents on it too. There are patents on it, but of course the Chinese can get our patent office and take anything they want at any time, and they've been able to do that for a good while.
I was trying to play a video because we're talking about energy. What happens to people like this? So this video here, hold on, let me get it up. This is a video right here of a guy, I guess, who has developed a motor that works on magnetism.
Right.
So, how this guy apparently killed himself after this got a little traction. Obviously, this would work. I mean, you increase the magnetism, it pumps faster. You decrease the magnetism, and it pumps slower. Why are you smirking?
Well, because, I mean,
this guy's gone.
They're reversing, but they're reversing the poles back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, think about it. That's just like the these magnetic trains and stuff. No, the magnetic train kind of thing, technology that they talked about, forever. That's how they do it. It floats on magnets, and you can change the poles back and forth, and that's what it's doing and creating energy.
But then why does this guy off himself? And he's
probably usually
because something like this kills everything we're talking about, right?
Over and over.
Lithium batteries, oil, coal industry, every energy source is out of business if this goes.
Right. And I mean, there's all kinds of stories and stuff. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, I knew a guy years ago that played around with this stuff. I mean, as far as in vehicles and stuff like that, and was running, running diesel engines and making his own, and injecting hydrogen into them.
The hydrogen motor. That guy went away too.
Well, in the water motor guy, all these guys I've known. I didn't personally know him, but a friend of mine knew a guy in Tennessee that just he was a good, fine Christian guy, that was an engineer and developed vehicles that ran on alternative fuels, so to speak, and very efficiently. And they just came in, took all of his stuff, and just gone him. And does that mean he killed him? Well, did he kill him? I don't know. Change his identity and move him to Taiwan or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of people that, how would I say, they just change and are forced to change their identities, and and this sort of thing, and may end
So
up
you're
somewhere
saying
else in the
some of
world.
these
This stuff's for real.
So what you're saying is like this guy publicly offed himself, but there's only
Well,
two.
I don't know if
Here's
he
what I'm
did.
saying. That's what this guy is gone.
Okay, fine.
So you're saying there's two options in that though. There's not just he offed himself, and there's
The
three
government
options
steal his
outside.
technology.
Well, no. Outside of him offing himself, one option is he did off himself, or the other option is the government comes up to him and says, "Hey." Obviously, I don't believe that Epstein Island was just one island. That's just the only island we know of. You think about the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and the people who own all the money, Saudi kings, China emperors. I mean, they obviously have enough money to where they can build an island that is more paradise than New York, than Florida. They can build a paradise on a random island somewhere. And that's probably where Prince and Del Senior's at right now. But what I'm saying is, you're saying they can come up to a guy like this and be like, look, great invention. Obviously, it does very well. It's something that will destroy everything we've created over the last 250 years. We ain't going to kill you, but we're going to publicly kill you.
Change your name
and you're going to go to a private Epstein-style island.
And live your life out.
It's like it's got roller coasters. It's got movie theater. It's got paradise. It's got beaches. It's everything you could ever want. You're going to stay there, and you're never going to be seen or heard from again.
Things
that happens.
I believe it.
What do you mean? You believe it, or you know someone who's went there, sir? Tom Cruise go there frequently?
You never know about Tom.
You know,
Cruise.
the Epstein list is not even out because it's got Trump on. It's got everybody. It's gonna kill everyone.
Well,
it's got Trump on it. I mean, we got everybody. That's the problem with this political system, is that everybody likes to play like their sides, but really, when you get to the nitty gritty, everybody's pulling the same shit. That's the sad part.
And they're involved in varying degrees too.
Right. Yeah. How far do you want to go? Some are drinking baby blood, some aren't. Basically.
Exactly. Well, I mean, literally.
Yeah. Some are just into the 14-year-old Russians, and some are not. You know. Right. I mean, Transylvania. I mean, Ivanka.
All that. It's there's a lot going on that people have no idea.
And if they knew about it, do you think? Here's what I would say: out of all the stuff we're about to talk about, do you think if everyone knew it? Let's just say all the facts that you know of, if everyone in the world knew them as facts, would society exist? Would it tick along? You know what I mean by that? Like, this goes back to my, and we're going to put the chat up. This goes back to my little conspiracy I've been throwing at you here recently. Hold on. We have a problem. I think we might have lost connection. No, we didn't. We lost the chat. Hold on. Chat's coming back. The chat's back. This comes back to my conspiracy that I've been laying out for you the last few days. And I'm just saying, I've been thinking about this for a while.
Okay.
Did they win? That would be the title of my video. Did they win? Because look, back to what I just said. If everybody knew the facts of everything you know as a fact, let's just say
all the things I think is a fact,
or at least all the intel. If everyone knew all the facts that you know, would society operate and exist? And that's back to the did they win deal. So I'm about to let me put the mic here so you're not liable. Just me on the camera. You're gonna survive the next week. I may not. I've been telling CIA Tom this theory of mine because we both sat back. Hold on. We'll put the mic a little closer.
All right.
We both sat back and somewhat agreed that ever since World War II, society has seemed somewhat like a weird experiment with different segments of society being manipulated, different political spectrums, civil rights movements, and JFKs and Charlie Mansons and all this crazy, even into today's society with the Trump era, the Obama era, the Clintons, the Bushes, 9/11s, all this stuff. But it's only been really happening since World War II. Prior to that, it seemed like there was some kind of structure and normalcy. whether it was racist, you still had your black families and you still had segregation and everything, but it was still kind of, everybody was just working in a direction.
I agree with that.
And then ever since World War II, though, it's almost been like a science experiment. And so I've been saying to him, did they win? Because, and he smirks at this because it makes sense. It does make sense.
I hate to say it, but it kind of does.
So, the story that we are told, back to like what you said, the truth and what most people are told to be able to sustain life. That's how we sustain life.
Right.
The story we are told is that after we won, Hitler died, and the superpowers of the world in Russia and the United States captured all of the leading scientists and engineers and people
Germany
of the Nazi regime and put them into our highest programs of ever being existed.
Kind of like that our people were like dummies before.
I'm just saying, it's like, well, they were prisoners, so we're in control of them. Fuck them if they fuck up. We're just using them. They're the lab rats. That's the story, right? They're gonna tell us all they fucking know. They're prisoners of our war. We won the bitch, and Russia did the same. We took their best guys.
Well, it was a competition between America getting these scientists
and Russia
getting them, and it's been a fake. My conclusion is this Russian America thing, we have been secret buddies the whole time, is what I think.
Well, but that would also go in a hold on, let me see now I'm connecting dots for this fucker.
All right.
So Warner von Braun, somebody who's the most ruthless person of all of human history. Well, he was appointed to NASA. Right. This is when we get this world.
Well, he was their top scientist for that, and he came here.
But there was other guys too. Engineers, scientists, developers, weaponry. Yep. These guys were all put up in the top levels. Everything. Immediately.
Yeah. Not that we didn't have good engineers and everything before
ourselves. We did.
But they went.
We had Oppenheimer.
Yeah. So they went and just like overtook them all?
They just put them all. Well, no, we took them over. Yeah. Well, so somehow, this is what we're saying.
Yeah.
And so we put them at NASA, led all the moon missions and all this fucking psyop. If you go look at the shit now, it don't make sense. Back then, everyone believed it. Everyone was sheep. Right. And now, since then, we've had all this science experiments. Whether that's movies and music. Movies became a big deal. Star Warses and all this shit. And what I'm sitting here saying, that's real. I think it's ticker turning. I would love to hear George's take on this. Did they actually win? Because there's no way society would have went forward from that point, from in the war. And maybe this was the trade-off, because once again, they did drop the bombs without having to. The treaty was signed in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. But they did spend a lot of time and effort into developing the bomb, and they wanted to use it. And maybe the Nazis wanted to see it get used. But here's the angle. Maybe this was the trade. No. Before this is all over, if these sides knew that the Nazis actually won, and the American and Russian governments told their societies, we lost, the Germans developed some kind of direct energy weapon that could take over the entire fucking thing. Say the Nazis developed like Dr. Evil, a big old laser that could destroy everything, bitch. Gun. Say this is actually, because direct energy weapons 50, 60 years in advance probably than what we know, that we're going back 50, 60. So if they were to come out and say, well, guys, they developed this thing at a click of a button, they got a gun to our head. If we don't fucking surrender, they're going to fucking solar ray the whole entire United States and Russia world. But the Germans were not intrigued by mass death. They wanted to get rid of the Jews, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And this is back to me thinking that the Jews are a diversion tactic. Obviously, who did they hate the most? So who do you want to be the big bad guy when you go research for the rest of humanity society? The actual enemy, the actual ones they hated, but they loved experiments more than anything. They loved engineering and science.
Mm-hmm.
What's been the main focus since then? Back to
So
who's been the big bad guy since then? They're the people they were hold on now, let me continue. If you were to come out and say this to the American and Russian societies, gun to the head, the Nazis won, they're coming in and they're taking over all of our programs and they're going to head up and lead everything from here on out. For one, you're not going to get your science project because everyone's going to know what's going on. They're probably going to, most people might off themselves or fight to the death. They'll turn on their country immediately because they're like, hell no, we can't lose. So, did they win? They won the fucking war. They took over the leading programs of both Russia and America. You just said you might think they're both buddies. This would make sense. This would make the connection.
I've always thought that. And
this would make the connection, and then we send Hitler off to South America, almost like a deserted island, to go study astrology in the highest mountains of the world, which he loved to do. That was his...
Yeah, and then go to Antarctica, too.
Bro, and I just said this the other day to you. This... if there's motherfuckers out there that think the world's flat, because it's possible, what I'm talking about right now is more possible than that.
Oh, yeah.
So, opinions. Did the Nazis actually win the war?
And then the other thing that's interesting, too, that 60% of the immigrants to the United States are Germans. How about that? And how about
and I got German heritage.
Yeah, we all do.
We all do.
And what about when you look at the German? Let me see how it is.
Don't say Volkswagen.
No.
Hugo Boss is in operation.
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz is in operation.
Yeah.
All the people who supported them.
Oh yeah.
Henry Ford apparently was linked to helping them.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, very much so. I mean, I've been to the Henry Ford home there in Dearborn, and he had this room that was a billiard room, kind of a real cool, like where the guys would go down there and smoke cigars and play. They had billiard table there and everything, and the funny thing about it was our tour guide that day. We had two experts on this kind of stuff that were with us in our little group of guys that were going through the place. And I looked down at the floor and underneath the billiard table, and it was a white carpet down there, and it had black swastikas all over underneath the billiard table. This is only about 10 years ago. Wow. It was actually the 150th birthday of Henry Ford, or what would have been.
Wow!
And I was there that day, and I looked at it, and here's the killer. The guy that was giving us the tour, the official tour guide, was Jewish, and I said,
bro.
I said to him right up. I looked down, I saw him on the floor. I said, "Man, what's that about?" And that he had these swastikas, on the carpet underneath the billiard table. I swear
What
to
did he
God.
say?
And so, well, not much. He said, "Well, I'm Jewish, or this, that, and everything." And we talked about it, just very openly and stuff. But then they just got done. I think it's finished now, or soon to be finished. They just did a remodel on the whole house. Okay, and then they're going to open it up. They took private donations, Ford gave them money, and all these different rich people and foundations gave him money to redo the old Ford house that he lived in, him and his wife. And when this thing gets redone and I go back there now and do a tour of that, I want to see that carpet underneath that billiard table. like 10 years ago. This
Well,
was.
it is. There is a honest.
If it's still there,
is
or
a-
did they whitewash it all? You know what
well,
I'm
and
saying?
See, there's two.
It makes me wonder.
When it comes to the Jewish heritage, there's like 3 different Jew
Oh yeah.
people, and there are Jewish people who believe that other Jewish people are just as useless as the Nazis tried to portray.
Mm-hmm.
Back to you thinking, the Russians and the United States have been working together this whole time. I'm making a I'm making
and in NASA they are too. Think about it.
I'm making a collaboration.
We're shooting up right now.
Well,
with
here's
Russia.
the fucking deal, buddy.
Mm.
And this is why it almost leans towards not the Nazi leadership taking over and winning. We can all see that moon shit was fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
We can all see it. It was a joke. But here's the deal: the kicker, and maybe there's leadership in all areas because everybody was on board.
Mm-hmm.
Every fucking sovereign nation that we know to exist agreed that we went to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Stop there. So, is that one side to the other, or is that all sides? All sides. Or is the Nazis win and take over every fucking thing?
I don't know.
And play a big experiment with the lab rats that is us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
I mean, I hate to say this, guys, but this is what makes sense to me. I mean, it sounds to me.
Well, it
makes sense,
we're coming
though.
from all different directions too on this thing.
But it makes the most sense
Right.
as to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking won. They fucking won.
From a war angle, though,
It makes even more sense.
Well, they were getting wiped out, right?
It don't matter. We're going
In
for
the long run.
going for the atomic bomb. They went for direct energy weapons. They went for Mr. Evil. I'm just saying, there's angles that they could have done something different. We always talk about how, how did they make the pyramids and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
And you hear everybody say, oh, well, they used a different source of mechanics.
Energy. Mm-hmm. Oh,
They're hinting to us all the time what happened.
Mm-hmm.
We went for atom splitting.
Mm-hmm.
The Nazis, potentially in this scenario, went for a direct energy weaponry based system and had a giant laser like Dr. Evil. And that's a gun to the head in that scenario.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Now then I got something to say about that. So what do we say about this? When you got
I'm just saying.
When you got Nikola Tesla doing the same thing, he's got his energy ray weapon, for knocking UFOs out of the sky. And there are people that are saying even to this day that was what our government wanted that, and he had that already wrapped up, and they did everything they could to get him, get what he was doing.
Right. And you think the Nazis didn't learn from his developments?
I'm sure if there was any cooperation
I'm just
there,
saying,
I don't know.
We pushed that off to the side what he was doing.
Right. We didn't support
the Germans
it.
don't.
Well, Westinghouse and them supported it and stuff, but that was a whole that was a whole
but Einstein was against it. He didn't believe in the same things.
No.
And we went with the Einstein routes.
Right.
We went with the atom. We didn't go with the energy based sourcing of electricity.
But again,
and manipulation.
Right. But
basically the beginning of quantum physics.
But Tesla wanted to just pull the energy out of the air and be able to do it.
Similar to the Egyptians.
But
apparently.
Yes, but nobody. How do you charge for that? This is the thing.
Can't charge for it.
And so Westinghouse and Thomas Edison were at odds over this whole thing.
Because they were trying to profiteer.
Yeah, they wanted to. And I saw it with my own eyes when I was out in at Edison's laboratory out in West Orange, New Jersey. I went there many years ago and toured through there, and I saw it. And what they did is they patented everything from the generators all the way to any kind of wire holders or anything, and the transformers and all the things that you needed to do to to put a energy system into a town. I mean, to put electric generation all the way to the house, to the meter, to everything. They patented, Edison had patents on
Yeah, it was
every
all
bit of
about
it.
the money.
It was all patented. And so then they, going first, I think one of the first towns or the first town that had electric, was it Grand Rapids or a little town in Indiana, Peru, Indiana, or Warsaw, Indiana? I can't remember which one.
Peru sounds about right.
They're right by each other, pretty close,
Mhm.
but they had power, as we know it today, so to speak, in an elementary way. But it's just kind of interesting just to wonder about this stuff,
But I
and
mean,
it makes more sense. It does make sense, I gotta say.
this angle.
But see, goes back then again.
And then once again, I've always kind of said, when people break, because you get into these circles and people think they know everything, and they always point to the Jews. It's weird. Even LeBron James, even all these people publicly, it seems like why is the Jews on all the these are, I've always said, if you go research, you will come to that conclusion. But I've always said, that's a decoy. When you think of smart shit and you think that there's a ruler or an elite class that runs everything, the most obvious thing is not gonna be the doe standing in the open field is not the doe you're looking for. That's the doe that's going to kill you. That's the doe that the hunter wants you to face. Now, we are smart with our minds, and we can think, and the people who run shit know we think.
How we think, too.
And how we think. They're scientists.
They manipulate.
And who was the grandest scientist of all? I hate to say it. It was the Nazis. They were the grand scientists of human history.
And engineering.
And engineering. You put scientificry and engineering together, you get the most powerful combination of world history control. Yep. So but once again, the hatred for the Jews. That makes sense too. That everyone in society is going to blame you for all the problems when they go to research who causes all the issues. So even the idolatry that Jews cause all the problems, even for black and white America, would still align with the hatred of the Nazi Reich. It makes fucking sense. It makes fucking sense. The Nazis won the war, bro.
It ain't over.
Why did they put? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and the thing is
all we did was, and I mean, I've been to Germany and know German people and that, and they still shoulder that shame of all the war crimes and all that shit. I mean, years and years and years later, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years.
Well, and there was regular German people who didn't align with the Nazis.
Well, of course not, but it just was hard to believe.
Hold on, just like there was regular Japan people who didn't align with them, who got fucking obliterated like that. If you want to know how caring our leadership is, even our own leadership, they killed 120,000 people like that with the fucking treaty signed.
120.
That's pretty low, right? At least Hitler put a couple thousand in the gas chamber every other day. We killed 120 like that with no reason to do it, except to show our might.
Right, show our force, yeah. And we're gonna end this war just like that.
But it was already ended. That's the point, though. It was already done.
Right.
The treaty was signed.
Right.
There's that bomb didn't end the war. The war was already ended. That's the problem. What is versus what we think. Just like the Jeff Gordon deal. We think Taste of Thunder's based on Jeff Gordon. It's not. It's based on Tim Richmond. Just like we think the bombs ended the war. The war was already done. That's the facts. That's the facts.
Right.
So it didn't. It was just literally, we're going to show what we did.
Right.
Even if the story's true, I think it could be a trade-off. Like,
Mm,
okay, we're going to give up the war. Nazis taking over. All right, we get to use our bomb.
mm.
Or the Nazis could have been intrigued. Let's see what it does. Y'all go ahead and drop it. We won, but we want to see what y'all... We won with our energy.
Mhm.
Let's see what your energy does.
Right. Yeah.
Even if they won.
Mhm. It's interesting.
Oh, God. I feel like I popped a bubble for you. I
No.
wonder what your George guy is going to
Yeah,
think.
yeah, one of my friends. Yeah, sure. I don't know. We'll have to see one day. One day we'll have to hook you guys up and let you go at it. See what you think.
Okay, comments. Let's look at some
Oh
comments
yeah.
here. Everything you guys are saying, I totally agree with. Everyone is finally awakened and it feels good. Alex Jones of 2006 was
Mhm.
right about everything.
We
Your
know
guy
that.
Jones or George, he's actually been on Alex Jones.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Are they buddies?
I wouldn't say they're buddies. His name's George Webb.
You sure you
And
want to give his full name?
yeah, why not? He's
Okay,
no,
I'm
he's
just
out
making-
there. He's on X. George Webb on X. Real
Okay.
George Webb on X.
Okay. And he was in the
real,
hospital.
real George Webb 1 on X.
And they tried to take him out here recently.
Well,
and
he
survived
got,
it.
he was, so far. Yeah, so far. Not sure exactly how it all went down, but he was released, I heard, out of ICU yesterday or today. So that's a good sign. But he definitely had some definite problems. And
Well, he's
I know him personally and very well for like 7 years. So,
But
you know,
okay, so 2006 Alex Jones was way before 7 years. That's almost 20 years, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, no, but I've been listening to Alex ever since just
9/11?
after the beginning. No, just after I've known about him for a long, long, long time for sure.
Okay.
And he was from Austin and all that too, and that's a whole other subject, as far as that goes.
Chaz, where you at? I just got on now. We are in Florida, an undisclosed location off the grid. We're teleporting online
That's about it.
with Nazi technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been 1 million casualties to invade Japan. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
That's not
my
killed
point.
120,000
Instantly.
Yeah, and
But the war was already done. Why, I don't understand this.
When wars
Okay,
finish,
do we
though,
need-
Chaz. Any big wars happen back in the day, I mean, everybody didn't know. Sometimes they might have fought for another 2 weeks or something. Here and there around the world. In wars. They didn't have any idea. In fact, those Rothschild guys and stuff used some of that at times over the years to, for their own manipulation, because they didn't let the news out that so and so had surrendered or this or that or whatever. And many people have been killed or maimed, so to speak, over the
Right.
years in war, because it doesn't all end tomorrow. Nowadays we got satellites and stuff, and everybody kind of knows that, hey, it's done, and it's much shorter of a time frame. But I mean, there's always troubles and manipulation for sure.
Right.
So I'm just saying, I'm not saying that that's what the reason was at all, but it's just pretty interesting. What are you checking?
July 26th, the declaration was signed. Hold on, we'll get the web up. Just so everybody can see this. The declaration was signed. The treaty. The unconditional surrender of Japan
Mm-hmm.
was signed on July 26th. Hold on, let's make sure this is on the screen. July 26, 1945. When was the atomic bomb dropped? July 26th.
What day?
August 6th and 9th.
That's quite a bit of difference. Like a week, huh? I don't know.
Anybody want to keep talking?
I don't know the answer.
Anybody want to keep talking? It's almost 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Took them some time, didn't it?
What y'all talking about? Looks like the Nazis won the war. That's what it fucking looks like. They wanted to see the fucking experiment play.
Mm.
You know, because even if you develop the energy, which I think that the Nazis went the Tesla route in their developments of weaponry.
Okay.
Because that would have been the only way. There was only 12 million. 12 million people went up against fucking Russia and the U.S. We're talking about like 400 million people. The only way you're going to ever win that war isn't running tanks through the woods like they did.
Mm.
It's fucking developing something bigger
than that.
Exactly.
Mm.
And you ain't going to do that with a bomb. You're going to have to find something Tesla style.
Mm. Devastating. Just shock.
Completely. You have to make something that's going to take over.
And everybody go, holy shit, this is America did that. We better respect them and we better sit our ass down and shut up.
Oh, no, I was talking about the Germans developing a weapon.
But, I mean, we're the ones that did it.
We're the ones that publicly
dropped the bomb.
A bomb. But I think the Germans privately developed a direct energy weaponry that they had to develop to even have a chance at beating that amount of people. They would have had to make something bigger than the atomic bomb, which would have had to be from the Tesla style of pulling energy from around. Mm-hmm. And even if I'm wrong that the Nazis won, they still took over. They either prisoners of war or privately won and appointed. They came over and led. They didn't get put in fucking bitch mode. Mm-hmm. They led our engineering, our science, our astrology
for all this time.
Since then. Mm-hmm. But once again, if y'all want to talk, July 26th to April 6th and 9th, or August 6th and 9th.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, guys.
Right.
If you want to talk about how we care about everyone or whatever, we don't kill innocent people.
Yeah, right.
There was regular Germans against the Nazi leadership. There was regular Japanese people against their leadership too.
Hmm. Well, there always will be.
120,000. Bam. And radiation for the rest of time. And I'll tell you what. I was going to say motherfucker because I'm used to talking shit. Mm-hmm. You know, when I was doing my travels in, let's get them down here to the chat. When I was doing my travels this year, I went to Kansas and Nebraska a bit. Mm-hmm. Now, Kansas, very interesting. Out of all my travels, pay attention. I kind of do a social study in a way. Mm-hmm. I study people, how people interact. I go to the ghettos. I go to all these areas. I'm not afraid of different culture. Mm-hmm. When I was in Kansas, I would say almost every other gas station, I ran across people with patches on their face. Skin cancer. Skin cancer in Kansas and northern Oklahoma is rampant. In my opinion. They think it's normal because they don't travel much. Most people, 85% of Americans don't even visit more than 2 states.
80? Huh?
I could look it up real quick, but I believe when I looked it up.
I've never heard that, but I believe you. But it's hard to.
Well, I don't want to. But I mean, we'll look it up afterwards. I'm right on the. I was wrong. I'm just saying. I was right on the Hiroshima deal, so stay with me.
Okay.
when I saw that, I was like, that fucking nuclear testing they did.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the weather patterns.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the jet stream of the American when they show the big map. The jet stream starts up there in Washington. It comes down kind of to Nevada, northern Nevada, and it drifts down into the Kansas northern area, and it goes up into Illinois and Iowa, or Illinois and Indiana, and then up in it dips into PA and goes up. That's usually the jet stream of our country.
Mm-hmm.
When they were doing all that fucking testing in northern Nevada in the middle of nowhere, and they're sending fucking atomic bombs up into the sky, and the radiation from that shit, where did it go? That jet stream carried that fucking shit, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing, down right there into Kansas, and killed that fucking ozone layer, destroyed all that shit. And that's why, in my opinion, I think that's why in that area of the country you have such a high rate of skin cancer.
Could be.
Based on the radiation fallout from those nuclear test sites in Nevada, because that follows the jet stream, because the upper atmosphere carries it down.
Mm-hmm. That's one possibility, for sure.
And we don't give a fuck.
They don't care about you. They don't love you.
What do you mean they don't love me? I'm an American.
They don't love you.
What do you mean? They love me. I'm white.
Yeah, they've always.
I'm a white guy. They love me.
I know.
This is why the black guy has a point.
Just think who all they've set up over the years, and then pulled back and not done what they said they were gonna do and all that. I mean, it's happened from time and time again. And I was with a Bay of Pigs guy the other day that was high up, and I'm just saying, here we get there, and John F. Kennedy pulled back the Air Force and didn't get involved, and they had the wrong ammo, to take over Cuba when they went in there.
But,
I mean,
but once again, isn't that a good social experiment? Let's do a false flag and see if we can convince a lot of people to go.
That's an Alex Jones thing.
Let's do a event. We'll call it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And let's try to see if we can get these people to want to kill these other people for no reason at all, but what we did.
Right.
That sounds like a and that's exactly what the German scientists were all about: human manipulation and psyops. That's why I think they fucking won, because you see the fallout of our society since then. It's all based on fucking convincing people to do shit. The greatest, and maybe it's demonic and maybe it's heavenly. I would say, a lot of people think that the devil wants you to hate yourself or blah, 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 and all this. I think the demonic forces want to manipulate you to the point you will harm someone for no reason. The greatest creation of God is you. The greatest response to the devil is to get his creation to kill his creation.
Well, I'm sure makes sense.
War.
And it's been there ever since the biblical days, right?
Yeah. Somebody said, Chaz, you're poor. They don't love us poors.
Yeah, that's a fact.
They manipulate the rich to think that, though. They don't love the rich either. They love their money, but they don't love them.
No, they're just...
I have to pee. Can you carry the show? Can you read some chats?
Yeah, I guess.
Are you going to be a Sean real quick? Yeah, just read the chat.
If I could see it there. Oh, up in the box there or over here?
2011 tsunami. What is that?
2000.
Hold on, he's going to answer your questions as I go to pee.
And then I'm right behind you.
Oh, God. Hold on.
Where are we at?
Oh, what just happened? Read those.
Oh, there you made it big. Okay.
I tried. Can you
Chaz,
still
your
see 'em?
Well, it was nice when it was big.
What about that? You can still see that, hopefully.
Not really.
Oh,
Too small.
Come on. I can't do it anyway.
There you go. That's better. 2% of Americans have visited all 50 states. That's what 67 Racing.
It's at least 2 states.
That's higher than I thought it was. I know. 67. True. I don't believe it. Give me a number. I've been to all 60 or all 50 states and all over the world basically, except for Asia. But just looking here to see what else. He's got quite a setup here, you guys. You can't hardly imagine what all he's doing while he's running the show. It's unbelievable. The amount of setup he has to do even beforehand is. You wonder why sometimes he starts out the music and the song might play 2 or 3 times or whatever. That's after he's done maybe 15 minutes worth or more of setup behind that and or ahead of that. It's pretty amazing, all the stuff, and he's got a really, really nice layout here and for broadcasting and all, and it's really neat. It was good. I'd been following Chaz for a while, probably the last, I'm going to say probably a year and a half or 2, around in there. So
Are they talking to you?
no, there's nothing I can. No, these guys they probably don't like me. So what do you expect? I mean,
Oh, come on.
I'm just saying.
You need another beer?
I'm okay, I guess.
Okay.
I'm not much of a beer
We're
hound.
drinking organic beer.
Yeah, if it makes anybody feel any better. Yep. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold Organic Light
Hold on,
Lager. Yeah, get me some. How
You
about
want
if I
one?
run to the bathroom?
You got to run in the bathroom? Do you want one?
No, I'm good. I got one right here. I'm good.
Somebody said true.
Yeah, that's what this. I can't believe it hardly, because it's not hold true for me, but most people very well could be.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
You can push out the table. It should be stable enough. Hope all is well, guys. We're trying. All those labs in Norway. What is that? I don't know. Marv's.
The labs were in Ukraine, or like.
Oh, you got to come back and talk about this Ukraine deal. He has too much information on this.
Yeah, we'll see.
Too much valid information, guys. This guy, we haven't even got to talk to him. We blew his mind with the Nazi theory. What's your favorite subject you've done a book on, Tom? Oh my, they're talking about books. Most people, I bet you it's a higher percentage of people who've visited all 50 states than who read books. Hell, I don't even read books. Let's see, 85% of Americans haven't left their home state. I think it's their home state. Let's see here. Visited then 2 states. Let's see here. I was right. I was dead on. Guys, trust the Chaz when I say shit. I ain't just making it up. Hold on. What is this? 85, according to a 2022 survey, 85%. I can't believe this. Tom's coming back, guys. Don't worry. Tom Cruise is returning. Calm down, Scientologists. All right. The evidence is on the screen. I want you to see this, Tom. The Chaz was once again right. 85%, according to a 2022 survey, 85% of Americans have not visited more than 2 states.
That's ridiculous.
Insane.
That's crazy.
This is why the Kansas people believe it's just normal to have skin cancer. Exactly, guys. This is a legitimate stat.
That's unbelievable.
A legitimate
I
stat.
never thought it was that low
No.
or that high.
No. It blew my mind when I saw
I would think
this.
maybe I could say 60-some%, but I mean,
Let's
I had
see.
85. Crazy.
Yeah,
I
percentage.
travel a lot of all the time, like you do. You know.
Yeah, of Americans that have visited all states that have visited. We're about to be. Me and you have visited all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That have a passport. I wonder how many have a passport.
I,
Oh wait,
That's
48%. That's
That's pretty
okay.
high.
So the next one, let's see what else is suggested
But don't
is
forget that that's all the other people that have come in from everywhere else too.
uh
You know what I mean? Rather than
visited
Americans, the actual Americans.
all 40. Let's say have visited the lower 48 states.
That's even better.
Yeah. Lower 48 states. I have yet to visit Alaska. It's the only one left.
I've been there once. I was going to go there twice.
Oh my.
Didn't get to go.
Here's a bunch of stats here. It says 11% have never left their home state. That's a
11%.
lot. When you consider 340-ish million, 54% have visited 10 states or fewer. 40% have never been outside the U.S. The most visited state is Florida.
There you go.
Um.
That's because of Disney, right? And the Yeet.
Oh, now we have to go to AI. AI will tell us, the co-pilot here. According to a survey, 10%. Okay, but they can't give me. Even AI can't answer this. So there's not even an answer. The percentage is so low of people who have visited every state.
That's hard to believe.
There's not a percentageal based stat of the situation. There's not. I'm sorry, guys. There's no percentage.
Would have thunk.
Have you thought about Elon's cars with people with bombs inside of them already and dead, and the Tesla drives to the destination and boom? What's that called?
I got something.
God, go ahead. Let's hear it. Tom
This is
interesting. People love you. They're staying involved.
This is right before this ties into our racing thing on the Tesla truck deal.
Don't fucking bring the Tesla truck up. Don't do this. No.
That wouldn't be good.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Let's do it. Come on. We're live with the true journalist of the underworld. Let's hear it.
No, you know what I'm talking about.
The Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right before I met you.
Okay.
I mean, I'm standing there talking to a couple of guys from VP Racing Fuels, which we're all familiar with for racing guys, right?
Yeah. Continue.
How ironic. And I hadn't even thought about this, but I can tie this back to.
Don't do it.
Why?
Because you may not wake up tomorrow.
Really?
You know they can direct energy weapon your blood vessels and stuff. You know they can direct energy a heart attack.
Listen though, and I don't know if you knew this or not, but back in the Oklahoma City bombing deal,
they
said
we're getting flagged for sure now.
Flagged?
Oh, they already took us down. Continue.
Oklahoma City bombing deal.
Yeah.
They
Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah. VP Nitro. They had VP Nitro there involved with that when they were mixing.
Was it actually VP's product?
Yeah.
Were they
that was in the paperwork.
Were they the only ones manufacturing that product?
Well, not nitro. I mean, there's Chinese nitro. There's every kind of nitro.
But was it American?
Yeah.
Was they the only American source?
Well, I'm sure not. No. But I'm
they
just
were
saying.
Probably easily it wasn't like a tie. Are
they
you trying
went and
to draw
bought
a connection?
It. No, I saw the paperwork and stuff on it way back in the day, and I thought, wow, that's unbelievable. And they'd gone to a track and bought nitro in like 5-gallon cans. Not that it's explosive.
That was a drag racer, probably.
It was out in Kansas. Okay. Think about it. And that was where McVeigh's partner was from. Was
Oh,
out there,
yeah.
Hutchinson, Kansas, I believe it was.
Oh my God, that's where I went.
Yeah.
Continue.
So anyway,
The signs of God.
yeah, right.
Oh God.
So anyway, it's ironic that VP was involved. Not that it was explosive or anything, but their VP was tied into the Oklahoma City bombing and the Tesla truck thing, because there was a 5-gallon
How
can.
are they tied into the Tesla truck?
There was a 5-gallon can in the Tesla truck. You look at any video on the back of the Tesla truck, and you'll see a VP 5-gallon can in there, sitting laying right on top. And then there were about 10 or 12. Didn't I talk to you about this before?
No, you didn't talk to me about this, you CIA bitch.
Seriously?
There was. Hold on. You're talking about the Tesla truck that blew up in Vegas.
Underneath the Trump overhang
Trump Tower,
at the hotel. Yes. There was the guy that was the Green Beret that was supposedly so stable and everything, and nothing wrong with him, and not crazy and all that sort of stuff. That the Tesla truck that had fireworks in the back of it and about 10 or 12 gallons of individual gallon cans of Coleman fuel.
I'm looking this up.
Like Coleman white fuel, white gas they call it.
Yeah, white. It has to be white. Yeah.
Yeah, to be bad.
I'm fucking with, yeah. I'm fucking with
to be bad, it has to be white, right? So there were 10 or 12 gallons of Coleman fuel, which is white gas, they call it, and it's not explosive. Basically, burns slow. It's kind of probably like kerosene, basically, and around that were scattered around in the back of that Tesla truck.
Oh my God, that's it.
And
oh my God, you're right.
No, I couldn't be. And it was all laying in there with the fireworks. And
that's it.
Zoom in on it.
VP can right
there. Zoom in on it. Zoom in on it.
I mean, I can only zoom in so much.
It's a steel can, 5-gallon can.
Let me see. Magnify image. Oh fuck.
There it is.
It does say VP.
Hold on it.
Hold on. It does. Wow. Right there.
In the middle. Up there, that one.
Yeah. You can see it. Sorry.
I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it.
Because that's a VP logo on that blue can.
Yeah,
right there.
That's the one. And look at all these Coleman fuel cans laying around in there. Those are all scattered around there, and there's a bunch of fireworks in there. And the fireworks were lit. The possibility. Listen.
Guy who wanted to go shoot fireworks.
Come on.
I mean, honestly, there's dumb people.
No, what I'm saying is there's more.
What the fuck does VP have to do with this?
Oh, nothing.
Who owns VP? Is it Nazis?
I doubt it. No.
What tell me why this is happening.
The president. All I know is the president was at Volusia last year, and I met him.
Well, you said you were talking to him when you met me.
These were two of the guys that were working at
the track. And then you walked up onto me randomly.
I was talking to them.
Oh my God! It was a big science experiment. It was. Continue.
You were. I mean, I'm seeing
we just lost connection. I think we're gonna go back. Hold on. Reconnection successful. We're back.
Okay. Well, anyway.
It just lost for a second.
So I'm getting done talking to them, and I looked right. I was going to go to the pits and see if I could find you if you hadn't,
What the fuck is going on?
Had a problem, So I looked up, and here you are about 15 feet in front of me. I swear to God.
On the heels of this.
Yeah. But the situation, though, of this is the thing is the guy had a hole in his head, right behind his ear. That's, total, I mean, did he shoot himself in the back of his head or not?
The scary part that you're talking about is why is VP involved here?
And you just don't, here's my thing is,
well, there's symbolism to everything that happens with the Illuminati.
But why would you have that in the scenario with a bunch of Coleman fuel cans and a bunch of fireworks? If you're serious about blowing this thing up, you don't do it like that. And you'd have regular gallon gas cans like that with gasoline in it.
Is this the case? What would you conclude?
Well, my conclusion is that it was set up. And
you want it to look this way,
Mhm.
like an idiot who's drunk gonna shoot fireworks?
no, he wasn't an idiot that's drunk. Not anybody has a Tesla that's worth whatever they are.
But yeah, okay.
And
So what's
he's a
there's
Green Beret
okay,
guy
so
he's a Green Beret guy that's a straight up kind of guy that everybody says, oh, he would never do anything like that. Then they go, well, here's his wallet and his license and his passport, and they're buying it in his pocket. So it was burned around the fringes and stuff, which is not outlandish at all, in my opinion. But the theory is that they programmed the truck to go under the overhang of the Trump Hotel and catch, and the truck's on fire already from the fireworks lighting up all this other fuel supposedly that's there. If you really want it to blow up, you'd use gasoline and instead of Coleman fuel. And the VP can was just regular racing gas.
What's your conclusion of this?
Well, that it was a setup. The whole
For
thing.
what?
Just
to kill one guy? That's all it did.
Well, that's all it did then. But I think that, again, I just don't think they were serious about it. Because my point is when you're serious about doing something,
do it?
If you're serious about doing something, you do it. Why
did it happen? For news? For news.
Okay, I'll say this.
It was a news headline.
Listen, it's kind of like I was sitting there when the Boston Marathon bombing happened. Okay, and with the what do you call it? The pressure cookers, and I'm sitting there watching this thing, and it blows up. And I remember my wife was there at the time, and I said, well, they weren't serious about that. And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, it was like there was no major explosion to the whole thing. I mean, it was, it blew up and there's white smoke and everything like that, but there was no concussion to it. It wasn't big time. So then they come to find out that the guys that they supposedly set up to do this were on our payroll of some sort, and it was fireworks again. Just inside of those. If you're serious about doing stuff, you do it right.
This happened when hold on, let me see if I can find out when the date on this actually was.
Well, it's only been about a month ago.
It was January 2nd that this occurred. So,
right.
Obviously, here's how I look at things. You look at them one way, you're not stupid. You're a smart, intelligent person.
Thank you.
You deal with intelligent people.
I hope so.
I don't know fucking anybody, but I try to decode things. So, for this to happen on January 6th or 2nd, you gotta think of the numerology though. 2 to the 20 is what? 20, right? 2. 2, 2. So you got gematria. Okay. You got to gematria this shit.
Okay.
So January 1, 2, 225. So when you're decoding things in mathematics, gematria based, everything that's a zero is canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 1, 2, 2, 2, 5. What is that? 1 plus 2 is 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 plus 2 is 5, plus 2 is 7, plus 5 is 12. What's 12 days? Hanukkah?
I don't know. 12 days.
Hanukkah.
Huh.
12 days of Christmas. But You're on the hills of Christmas. 12. What do you do with 12? I wonder how many kerosene cans are back here. So
there were like there were 10 or 12.
They counted 12?
I saw them.
Did they count 12 really?
I thought.
Oh my God.
I swear.
I'm just adding this up on the fly. I haven't studied this. I'm just thinking
I saw
hold on.
a better picture of it.
All
that.
I'm saying
or something.
All I'm saying is this is how I would dissect. I haven't looked into this
Mhm.
because I take this shit as like a grain of salt. This is how I would dissect it. If it was presented to me, I would go gematria calendar. So
Why that's
12.
your Jewish
So
thing, right? That's your Jewish.
well,
Jewish
but no,
background.
you got to understand.
Yeah.
Just how you thought the Russians and the just how you said Russians and the U.S. were working together this whole time.
Mhm.
I'm under the same perception that the fucking Nazis and the Jewish were working together all the time. I'm under the perception that this calendar, this mathematics, and this is true, the closest thing to how this shit, whatever we call it, operates. This matrix, if we're in a matrix, this gematria system is the closest thing to decoding reality. Closest thing there ever was. That's why they've had people banned from it from casinos. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm talking about when I talk about it. It's a real fucking thing.
Oh, I know.
So the Nazis aren't going to shy away from that either. They're going to respect it and want to learn from it. Sorry, I was burping, but I did it the other way.
Right.
So, when I hear 12, I hear Hanukkah, and then I'm like, okay, 12. So how many things? I just said 12 randomly because I added up the gematria math on it. You're telling me there was actually 12 cans? That's what you just said. That's what was reported. That was reported.
10 or 12 cans around of Coleman fuel in there. Okay, when I first looked at it.
Now you have to separate. If you want to go into, I might get shut down from exposing this because I don't really look into it because I want to believe that there's a higher power. I want to believe that these numbers don't make sense, even though they do. I want to believe that your numbers can be manipulated by God, no matter what. And maybe that's the person who runs the matrix. And the God, if the gematria is accurate, let's just say the gematria is accurate. We're about to go into it. If it is accurate, I believe that a God, or even in the gematria system, the owner of the system can come in at any time, any period, and alter. You know what I'm saying by that? Like you can a god of any. If I want to shut this computer down right now, I can do it.
Right.
This whole system's running right now because I'm allowing it to run. If I want to come in and fucking change something, I do it. Bam. So that's what I want to believe. No matter what your fucking numbers say, no matter what your shit adds up to, I believe there is something that controls it all. That's my belief. The devil wants to deceive you into thinking, no, these numbers are all fucking facts, and that's how I see it. Maybe that's not how everybody sees it. That's how I see it. So when you're breaking down this, I just said 12 because I added up the numbers. You said there's 12 cans.
Well, I don't know that there is.
Well, that's 10 to 12.
That's what I remember
10 to 12.
seeing.
10 to 12.
We're around it.
So 10 to 12. Okay, so now you have to, like I said, you go to the inauguration date. You go to January 6th because the media was pushing that. And then obviously the math for 6 would be, what's that? 4 more than 12, which would be 16. So then you got 12, you got 16, you got 28. That don't really make no sense. But you got 12 to 20, you got 10, you got 22. Obviously, 223 is very important. 223 is extremely important. That's obviously the skulls and bones number. 322 to 23. It's backwards. 4s are backwards. Which is also the scary number around the Code Trickle situation. Because what's 2 times 23?
Okay.
What's 2 times 23?
46. Or, well,
46. 2 times 20. Yeah. What was Code Trickle's number?
I don't know.
46.
Okay.
Oh, God. Well, you don't even want to get down this number.
Well, well, how about this? 223. 223. Isn't that what Trump got shot with in the ear?
This is why I ignore. Now you make me want to go down the rabbit hole.
Or was it a 223? Is it a 220?
Oh my God!
Was it?
I don't want to expose my brain live on the show. What?
Was it a 223 or was it a 5.56 round? Which one? God. Was it a NATO metric round or was it a 223?
What? Whoa! Wait! 16, right? I said 16. What's the significance
16.
in that? Which would be, what is 5 plus 5?
10 is 1 and 6, 16. Yeah, 16. How about that?
How'd that work out?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
We may be here till 5 in the fucking morning.
Bullshit.
I'm just saying. I mean, we may be here till 5 in the morning. Oh no, we're gonna be shut down by tomorrow. I am curious. When did that happen? Trump got shot when? I'm curious on the gematria of that date. I know the date. Mm-hmm. The dates matter because it's their calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. On what date? It's the date. They don't even tell you. Come on, Copilot. Where you at, AI? July 13th.
Mm-hmm. 224.
Okay. So, what is 7? It's 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4. 19.
Better hold on 19 there, buddy.
$47. And then he got inaugurated when? 220 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5. 58. 58's important. Oh. You got to pay attention to 58 and 85.
Okay.
Blood sacrifice number.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's all about Exodus. This is all, but I'm getting too real for the comment section. They don't want to know about this.
Well, I wonder what they're saying. That's what I want to know.
Blood sacrifice ritual.
That ties to the Trump deal.
Yeah, it's all based on the Aztecs. The Aztecs knew all about it. All the ritual-based people who were understood of let me see. Sacrifice. God, we're gonna get so sacrifice number. They may not even allow you to fucking find that. Or manifestation number. They're not even, see, they're doing angel numbers. They're not doing it by the gematria calendars. 85 means blood sacrifice.
But
85 significant. 97 or hold on. This is a guy you may know. Aleister Crowley.
Oh yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah. It's a bad guy. Numerology. I believe it's 97. 777, that's bullshit. 93. Yeah. So whenever you see these numbers here, 11, 93, 77, or 175. Very significant numbers. Unfortunately. I would say unfortunately. Because it was based on the gematria math calendar. We're getting too real. We gotta back the fuck off. What is the chat say? The chat's already tuned out. We gotta go back. Marks Racing is 19. Nope. Brent Marks is in. PA, the Mennonites. Shoot the thrill. There is a lot of satanic references in rock and roll of the 80s.
Oh yeah, AC/DC.
Running with the Devil.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
Gematria Effect News, YouTube. Oh no. Okay, somebody wants to know about Ukraine. Let's get back to the normal news world.
Really? Well,
What's the situation with Ukraine? Obviously this subject came up with me and you because we were talking about. I was basically making a point that weaponry, geoengineering, biological warfare, whatever you want to call it, we have laws, but the private, the as JFK would say, the military industrial complex that don't work in our laws can find ways around them. We're contracting out,
Right.
so weaponry and everything is beyond our capability.
Right. And that's what
we're not developing the weapons. Other companies are paid
because we couldn't do it in this country. It was during Obama's time.
Right.
And we couldn't do it in this country because it was illegal to get gain of function technology, biological engineer in this country for gain of function, like spreading disease.
Right, exactly. So we had to take it out of the. It's just like we can't make metal cheap. We can't do slave labor. So you just let China do it, and we get the
Romania or
whatever. Well, made in China, made in Taiwan. These are sweat labs. We get it on a. We get it. What you're describing happens on the base level when we see made in China, made in Taiwan. We're not allowed to have slave labor. We got labor laws. That's why made in USA costs so much, because we have laws that are maintained to pay our labor a certain way. But these other countries, they don't care. So they can bend the laws over there and still sell to us. You're saying the same thing basically occurred with weaponry.
Yeah.
In a way, weaponry.
Well, it is. Except for his biological weaponry, and this is how they were developing all this stuff overseas. And people discovered it. And at first there was like 28 labs that they,
we're doing tests.
We're doing over there, yeah, and they're just small, like in houses and stuff.
And there was some in Canada, right? One or two.
Yeah, there was one in Canada that's how.
But it was more controlled.
Well, they get it out of, but then they send it overseas out of
to
Canada.
Go next level.
Yes, to go to Ukraine, because we didn't.
So are you saying Ukraine was kind of a laboratory test? Okay.
And so it had been discovered by some of our researchers that there were, I think, 28 labs, and then it went to number 36 labs, and I think they came up, last I heard, it was like 42.
So is that why Ukraine is so important?
I mean, as far as
it's not the public proximity war.
The thing I don't understand about it is why Russia is going over there to what they'd call the breadbasket of the world, or of Europe, where they've got these beautiful wheat fields and all this kind of thing, which of course
spurred human existence.
Yes.
That gluten, wheat, was the first time we ever found in human history a substance that grows pretty much year round. It was like the wheat fields were technically the first step of getting away from hunting and gathering. It was the first agricultural substance that could survive, and this is why biblical stories teach of bread and wine and stuff like that.
It's very basic.
It's very basic, but if you have bread,
you can live on it,
and you have water, you can live your entire life.
And you can make bread.
Yeah, wheat. Wheat was the basic substance. And Ukraine, that area, was kind of like the first discovery of, or plentiful natural crop. Because it's a natural crop of Ukraine.
Right. It'd be interesting to look at a globe or whatever and see what the parallels are, as far as to see how that would line up with Kansas, say, where they grow tons of it, or
Well, there's a lot of infestation of our country.
What do you mean by that?
I mean by like a lot of the animals here, a lot of the crops grown here are not, I guess infestation is a bad term,
right.
maybe, but it technically is the same thing. They're all brought and planted. The U.S. is in a good climate area to be able to grow quick and turn things around quick. But wheat's not a native plant.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I say infestation, because
Mhm,
it's came
yeah.
here and it's taken over. I mean, there's so much empty land of America. They say we're overpopulated, but we're fucking empty as fuck.
And it's because it goes back to what you're talking about, that they can brainwash the people because the people only been to 2 states in the whole goddamn country.
And their whole fucking
ridiculous.
life, 85%.
It's ridiculous. And so then you get people that
They
and
believe what they're told.
Yes, like what you said. And then they can go to these universities and teach us, oh my God, these people are living on top of themselves, and this and that and the other.
That's how you get the greenies.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. And then they go and brainwash them to that. We just don't have any room anymore. The young college girl that doesn't
okay, hold on. Because a
What?
lot of those young college girls or
Yeah.
boys will
Well,
sit
I'm
back.
just saying.
The reason they're able to rebel so easily against their parents is because their parents is a part of that 85%. There's a lot of these college girls and guys who are just living out of a fucking. When you go look into people who are living off lands and traveling like I do or you do, it's a lot of younger people.
Oh, true.
And they're able to easily combat the elderly or the older people because they're like, that's the majority of the 85% who ain't fucking traveled. So it's like
Or the
a
older
combatants.
people.
It's a combatants of ideology.
But I'm just saying though that it's perpetrated onto the people though that we don't have any property and that
And
there's
that's
just
a
nowhere
lie.
to live and there's no water out there. There's no this or no that, and people can't exist, and stuff. Well, people exist most everywhere in our whole country.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they can't grow a hayfield or whatever out in the whatever. But if all you got to do is fly in an airplane and
see
fly
nothing.
but circle.
And we
but,
drove it, so
yeah.
we see it.
But but you see it from the air, and you're going, "Gosh, we're out here in Colorado or whatever, and they've got
nothing for miles."
Yeah,
You got Aspen and Denver, but there's nothing in between.
But what I'm getting at is there are as we call them pivots in Michigan, water pivots where they have irrigated and they can grow shit. Like in Nebraska or whatever. They actually can grow grow crops because of irrigation.
Well, and a lot of the country,
and in California, it's that way.
California,
up there where all our food comes.
You take California, Iowa, a little of Nebraska, a little part of like northern Iowa, southern Minnesota, a little west or east, South Dakota, and you basically have the fucking food market of the country. And honestly, I know people have a thing against California, and their politics are fucking psycho.
Terrible.
And there's a big scheme behind that. I'm sure you've looked into the mobs of San Francisco, the Pelosi families. Sure. They took it over. I mean, the Newsoms. It's a big fucking mafia running that shit.
And
it's
doing it forever.
And they've been doing it at least since the 40s. But at the end of the day, if California really wanted to desegregate from the United States,
they
would have power.
In Texas too.
Well, Texas has power. They have a grid as well, and they have might.
Yeah.
But as far as when you're looking at all the things we utilize daily, California is a fucking powerhouse.
Right.
Big time.
Right.
Big time.
But you've seen that what the I guess you'd call it the GDP of California is compared to whole countries like overseas and stuff like that. It's crazy.
If California was become its own fucking country, it would probably rank top 10 at least, and it might rank top 5.
But I don't know what number, but it's really high up there. But they're screwing themselves so bad, and the corporations are bailing out, and the people are like, "Hey, I'm sick of these taxes," and
Yeah,
everything
but
like
the
that.
thing is that
But
their environment provides them so much natural power. That's the
beauty.
thing. Not just beauty.
So that
No,
too.
their
That's part of
climate,
it.
their environment produces so much fertile soil,
Mhm.
so much ability to where if you live in California, you have, for instance, back to there's nothing in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
If you were in the middle of the desert in fucking Utah,
Mhm.
you can't really grow much.
Well, you gotta have dirt.
You got to have dirt, but it's a lot of shit dirt.
That's what
There
I'm
has to be
saying.
good soil.
Right.
California is full of fertile ass soil.
Right.
It's full of a long season of growing, and
Well, it's the same thing with here in Florida.
yeah, Florida's
it's
got, and
sunny
y'all are
hot.
very tropical with y'all's
That's the
plants.
thing.
You have a tropical environment,
Right.
which produces good tropical. Florida
And
could
there's
grow.
dirt.
Florida could grow. If y'all wanted to be a what do they call it, a fruitarian, y'all could be the baddest ass fruitarian in the world because
Right.
y'all's tropical environments are great for growing
that.
bananas, pineapples, oranges, apples, these style of plants. But if you wanted to grow wheat in Florida, it's too tropical.
But here's a funny statistic, and I don't know what it is like right now, but there are more cattle in Florida, I believe, than all of Texas, I believe.
I'm done.
It's crazy.
I'm fucking done with
Can you believe that?
I'm done, guys. I'm done. We're closing.
Check it out.
On this plan. I'm just playing. Read the comments. Let me correct you.
I'm dead serious though. About
humidity is not a friend of growing.
We
Somebody
have
said
a lot of humidity
Fauci
at
was
night.
compliant. Oh my god. Try driving through Nebraska. Hold on. Tesla truck. Oh, you got to read this. I have to pee again. I have to pee.
Go for it.
I'm drinking more beer or organic beer than him. Hold on. He's right over here. He's
Tesla
reading your
truck
comments.
guy supposedly knew some what's
And
it?
you know all about the Tesla thing, right?
Well, I don't know about all that. I'm trying to see what that. Oh, anti-gravitic, I think it's saying technology. New term you'll start hearing now. Oh, that's interesting. I just know he's a Green Beret at the top. Wisconsin grows a lot of items. That's very true. I go to Wisconsin quite a bit. I like it. Michigan and Wisconsin are really very much alike, side by side there with Lake Michigan between them. And it's funny, the politics are even quite a bit alike. I go to both of them quite a lot, and I grew up in Michigan, so they really do compare. It's kind of crazy, but anyway. So let me see here. A case is 12 cans.
What did he just say?
It says a case is 12 cans.
We're about to find out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm calling for
Moscato?
all right in there
Oh no.
at the bottom left, isn't it?
Oh no. Do we get the Moscato?
Whatever's open in there.
Well, you said we need to drink it or it's going to go.
We're gonna go bad. Yeah. Wisconsin is great. Way too cold. Yeah, it is. I mean, Michigan's.
you're
It's really cold now.
They don't even know you're from Michigan. They think you're from fucking Florida.
Well, I am in the winter.
Well,
I'm smart enough to get out of there.
He's a snowbird.
Smart enough to get out of there.
Andy Foster says, okay. So Andy Foster, he's an interesting guy. So he's from Australia.
Okay.
And he has relocated to California. That's where he lives now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Must have brought some of that Australian money back over here. Something like that.
That Australian money ain't good.
No. That doesn't have much value.
It's about 64 cents to the dollar.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's pretty horrible.
Yeah. Minnesota here, and I love Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Best cheese in the world, and the Vikings and Packers are epic.
Yeah.
Well, are you a Lions fan?
I'm no fan. I'm a motorsports guy, and I am not into football. I watch it.
You don't support.
I like the Lions when they're doing good. I like University of Michigan very much. Michigan State's fine but I just
We're pulling
don't.
out
I
the
just
Moscato.
don't.
I have to drink this. I have to.
I just don't follow football. I know sports, and I've watched sports all my life, played sports, everything else, as a younger person, but just not really into sports. I like motorsports though, ever since I was a kid.
Well, and
So
I feel
that's my
bad
deal.
when we learn about an Illuminati and shit. Like
Oh yeah,
the modern sports spectrum is the modern Roman circus.
bread and circuses. Huh?
I mean, it is.
Well,
I
it
mean,
is.
well, gladiators fighting the
Sure.
lions. That's your football.
But that's how.
But then
what-
racing is the chariots. Can we agree? Racing is the chariots.
Fine with me.
But it is the modern version of chariots, right?
Yeah, I'd say.
It is.
Mhm.
What else would be comparable?
Right. But all, I hate to say it like this because it sounds real negative, but we love all these things as side issues. We have all our serious stuff that we think about and all that kind of thing. But I've always been a race fan, and I've always used that as kind of my tranquility kind of thing. I mean, I like it. I love it. I like, sprint cars are my favorite. I grew up, on NASCAR track, very close to me,
Well,
growing up and all that. And I enjoyed it as a young
and
person.
I would say that racing is the epitome of skill.
Hmm. Oh yeah. I mean, it takes so
not,
much.
Not physical attribute, but
Yeah.
mental skill. And you gotta have physical attribute. But
Hmm.
when you think about what they're actually doing, and I had a video about this at one point, like
Hmm.
you think about football basically is the
Mhm.
evolved version of throwing a spear to hit an animal.
Well, sure.
You used to throw a spear to hit you're hunting for hogs or a deer or whatever, and the deer takes off, and you got the spear and you throw it, and you hit the fucking deer on the run, and you hit a perfect shot. That's throwing a football. That's the evolved version of throwing a football
I agree.
into a quarterback or from a
Mhm.
quarterback to a receiver.
Sure.
So I view racing, and obviously soccer is kicking a
Mhm.
ball into a net.
Hmm.
I view racing similar to that, but I view it way harder. To throw in the NFL, they say from college you got to hit a receiver in this box or
Yeah.
this box. You have room.
I think you have many, many more variables, and I think that's what you're getting at. I mean,
I think the variable is smaller.
in racing,
Yes, because here's the deal.
anything can go wrong, man.
No, but here's the deal. Here's what I'm saying. And I've been in a race car,
Sure.
and I'm not saying I'm great, but Kyle Larson said I am a good race car driver. He did. We'll pull the fucking video up if you need it.
Oh yeah.
We'll pull the video up.
I've heard you say it.
I mean, we pull it up. It's real.
I believe
He
it.
told David Gravels to his face. He slapped him almost like he hit me in the eye. But here's what I'm saying.
Almost.
So you throw that football, right, and you got to hit a window. In the NFL, they say is a foot by foot,
Okay.
and you got to be in the pocket.
Sure.
And if you can get in that foot, you're elite,
Mhm.
like you're Tom Brady.
Right.
When you're driving these fucking race cars, though, and you're aiming for that fucking cushion that's moving,
Hmm.
if you throw that fucking right rear, and if you're let me see, if you're this far, hold on, let me get the fucking camera out.
Hmm.
If you're this far from the cushion,
Hmm.
you're in the fucking B main.
Hmm.
If you're this far from the cushion, you're running top 10.
Hmm.
If you're this far, you're running top 5.
Hmm.
If you're fucking here, you're
You're
Kyle
on the
Larson.
ragged edge.
You're David Gravel.
Hmm. Hmm.
You can't, and back to throwing. You're throwing the fucking car to hit this angle at 100 miles an hour while there's cars moving, while you're balancing this throw on your feet.
Oh yeah.
And your hands.
Right. Oh,
That's why I say the epitome of skill.
Mhm.
NFL quarterbacks aiming for a box this fucking big.
You got to know it.
This fucking big in a sprint car on a racetrack is the back of the field.
Mm-hmm.
You can't miss the cushion this
Mm-hmm.
much. You miss the cushion this much, you're Amber Balkan.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she left dirt. She couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're this far, you're fucking Jacob Allen.
Mm-hmm.
or your, Anthony Macri.
Mm-hmm. That's right. They're good.
They're good.
Mm-hmm. But they
But
ain't no Kyle and.
maybe. Well, hold on. We'll open it up.
Okay.
Hold on. There's Sheldon. Well, Sheldon's fucking over and over. He don't know where he's at.
Well,
I'm just saying, you got to be right there.
He's on it or he isn't.
You got to.
He's on the wall.
My point is the epitome of skill. The NFL quarterback just has to be here, right?
Mm-hmm.
That fucking premier race car driver in a sprint car,
I agree.
or a late model. Sprint car more precise because you got the wing. You got to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not within this much, throwing that fucking car 100 feet, you're aiming 100 feet out. If you're not balancing your hands and your feet,
and
you better hit this fucking box, or you're not going to stay in competition.
Right. Without hitting any ruts or potholes along the way.
Well, and if there are ruts or potholes,
and there are gonna be.
If there are,
and they're gonna
then you have to calculate instantly
how to compensate.
How to get into this box with those difficulties.
I agree, 100%.
That is, in my opinion, a winged, and I know people hate to say it because and I only love the wing car. Here's why I love it.
Me too. I'm the same way.
Here's why I love it. Because of the precision. Now, this is where you could maybe give some credit to the F1 guys. Maybe give some credit to the maybe even the NASCAR guys in their little fucking little circle world. Mm-hmm. They only got to beat 8 guys though. They ain't going up against no competition. That's my point against NASCAR. If you're in one of those Penske, Joe Gibbs, or Hendrick rides, you have an advantage over everyone else.
Absolutely.
Back to once again F1. Did Lewis Hamilton all of a sudden forget how to drive, or did he go to another team, or did another team get better than him? The race cars are controlled. This is why I give more credit to dirt, because there's more competition and an equal playing field. So, super late models have more competition. I will agree. I just think that their band for error is wider. When you put a fucking wing on a 900 horsepower sprint car, and you got David Gravel on the track, and Donnie Schatz, and Kyle Larson, and I'll put Kofoid out, Tyler Court, Rico Aber, Brad Sweet, you better fucking hit
And
this shit, and it's happening, bam, right now. And if you don't hit it, bye, lap car. Lap car. You're this far from the cushion, lap car. You're this far from your mark. Not even the cushion, your mark. Because it could be on the top of the bottom.
Sure.
You got to be here. You're here, be main.
It's so close.
That to me, out of all the sports,
I agree.
The epitome of skill.
And that's why we like them. That's why I like them.
And that's why it
makes it so
passionate.
Exciting. I know.
Because those guys have to literally fucking die to get on your television screen. Think about it.
Yeah.
David Gravel will never make ESPN. If he dies, though,
well, he'll be on there
full
for
fucking
30
spread.
seconds, maybe.
Brian Clausen, so Brian Clausen's a good example of that. My first time ever driving a race car, it got very viral here recently. Was August 7th, 2016. I performed very well. Same night, Brian Clausen, Belleville, died. Same night that I accomplished a lifetime goal of finally driving a race car. I always wanted to do it. No one gave a fuck, knew, or even cared who Brian Clausen was. The moment that motherfucker died, press run. Now he matters. Now you care to know his name. I told you earlier, I promoted racetracks, sent shit out to. I told you, drove thousands of miles. Kevin Ward Jr. dies, 6 a.m. Sunday morning. They want to talk to you. That's my problem, is noticing the elite ability of what these guys are doing. And the only way they're going to get any recognition,
That's what
it's about recognition and respect.
I agree.
So when I come out here and I start going after these NASCAR guys, which, by the way, that's all I started doing before Kyle came and ran his mouth. He started coming to me before I went to him. People don't know this. But I was making, from October 22nd to 2017, I believe it was November 20th, I had reached like 15 million people doing videos in 1 month of trying. And I was literally talking about what I'm talking about right now. And Kyle Larson came on to my video that reached like 600,000 people and defended the NASCAR drivers. And I was literally saying in my video, these guys aren't getting their fucking recognition or respect. So when he came on there in 2017 and tried to defend that, I said, okay, fuck you too. And went after him. But that's also the problem. Because he's the only one from our world getting the recognition and respect for what he's doing in the car.
Sure.
And he's making a living on being the only guy as well. Because if David Gravel and all these other guys started being premier, respected, represented people in our society, it would take away from him. And that's why he doesn't want me to talk against him. Or this NASCAR, or this bullshit I'm talking about right now. Because if these people get the fame, his goes away. And he don't want that because he's making a living on that.
That's nature of it. Yeah.
Right. Dog eat dog, motherfucker.
That's the nature of it. Business in business.
That is my premise to the issue. And that's probably why he came after me. Because he knew that if I started gaining traction, his traction would go away. Because even though he's great, he is, our guys whoop his ass too. But nobody hears about it. You don't see that Fox News or that NASCAR presser when he finishes sixth. You only see it when he wins. And this ain't supposed to be a Kyle Larson basher, but this is the reality of the situation.
Right. It is what it is.
Right. So I'm trying to give the recognition and respect to these guys who are doing this amazing thing. And I find it as a very unfair, an injustice. This is an injustice that our guys have to literally decease to be known. And that's the reality, right? That's real.
I gotta agree. Yeah.
How else?
It's sad.
How else are they going to get it?
Die. And that's it.
That's it. The only way. Every one of them. Every fucking one of them.
You're right. You're right.
Donnie Schatz, you heard about him on the news? Any recognition?
No.
He drives Tony Stewart's car.
Yeah.
Maybe. I ain't even heard that. I didn't know this was going to get so emotional, but this is really what happened.
No, it's deep. Yeah.
It's really what happened. And I didn't think of the angle that you just said where, like, even though I was laying out the process, and I agree with it, I didn't see the angle of you saying if these guys get the recognition in the dirt world, that his recognition it does go away.
It erodes it down, and it's just like I said.
I didn't think about that. Maybe that's why he's so against what I do.
This is in the business world the same way. If you're not talking about, you talking about, Elon or whoever, some had big shot of some corporation or whatever. If other people are getting their glory,
attention.
their glory and their attention,
it spreads out.
Yeah, and it just dilutes it down. That's all there is to it. But it'd be, to me, it'd be wonderful if it was spread out a bit and more people could get the glory.
Or if they were just properly represented.
Yeah, represented.
Mm-hmm. They're not properly represented at all.
No, not a bit.
They're degraded.
Oh yeah.
They're degraded as some fucking and this, I make fun of it and say it like this, but societally wise, sprint car racing is viewed as a flag football tryout division. If you think about
it's crazy. Though.
But it is, right?
But it's sad.
It's not true, mm-hmm. But as far as recognition, respect, notoriety, status,
mm-hmm. and that I think that's why it feeds on these guys, for their egos, like you talk about, and everything like that. They've got to feed their own ego because nobody else is doing it. Mm-mm. And so they got to act like some of them do.
And see, this is like the Tyler Courtney sex scandal shit. Mm. This is what I said after I went to Indy. Because I went to Indy and I've been to plenty of dirt races, okay? Sure. And then I went to a few NASCAR stuff, and I was with a girl at the time. But I went to Indy, and I'm walking around Indianapolis, and I did it at the NASCAR race, and I'm recognizing the crowd, the social science, the mm-hmm. dynamic, mm-hmm. and I'm like, not being a misogynist here, but there's a lot of attractive women here, mm-hmm. And in the dirt world, that's not the case. Mm-hmm. It is 98% me's, yous,
just regular people.
Yeah. And the only attractive girls there are the girls of the drivers.
It's very...
And so it's like, hold on, and once again, not defending what Tyler has done, and obviously he's built himself in his own relationship, and he's got a great deal now. That's fine. But obviously the shit that's happened has been well documented. Mm-hmm. But the shit that's happened in the past is well documented, and for the future drivers. If there was an environment that was well respected, well renowned, well known of, he wouldn't have to fucking pillage the attractive girls at an event of another driver. There would be people wanting to be with him because he has recognition and respect for doing what he does, which it should carry that.
Right. But if they're not getting that respect and everything like we
then they're pillaging. They're going after the only opposition there is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, even from the respect situation to the dirty of the dirts. I'm just saying, like, this is a big problem.
I agree with you 100%. I see what you're saying. And, I think if you went like NHRA racing and stuff, I think you're going to see a lot, better,
and
more
diverse.
Beautiful and cute, different class of people. So
in a way. And that's the situation. I think that's because of the recognition and respect. Mm-hmm. Because you go to these NHRA events, but NHRA is well known and respected.
Yeah.
NHRA is well known and respected.
It is.
Top fuel. Hold on, here's my point.
I'm losing respect more.
But here's my point. If I go up to a random person, whether he's black, white, woman, female, girl, whatever, and I say, I'm going to go to Top Fuel this weekend, they already know I'm talking about NHRA.
Yeah.
But if I go up to random, I'm going to a sprint car race, they're going to be like, you mean a Miata?
Yeah.
A sprint car, a little Miata, right? Yeah. Like a little fucking, little car.
A Chevy Sprint.
Yeah, so a little car, like a Sprint. Yeah, like a little Sprint thing. I know I'm going to a dirt race. Oh, you mean the dirt bikes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeez.
really?
Sad.
That's different though.
Mhm.
And I think, yeah, maybe the older generation is traditional and they're like, oh, we don't need all these new people or whatever. But if new people started coming, they're not going to reject them.
Mm-mm. They'll take their money. I mean,
Oh
you're
no,
talking
I'm,
about
I'm not
you're
saying
talking
it.
about
I'm not
fan
saying it. Yeah,
wise.
I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm talking about normal people. If normal people started coming to the
Well,
races, they're not going to tell them to leave.
no.
They're just going to see them, and they're going to interact with them, and then maybe that could help our fucking dirt track society develop a little bit. By interacting with society a little bit, because I do think we're closed-minded at times. But yeah, I mean, I think I think though it all spurs all the issues spur from our sport, what it is, our drivers, who they are, what they're doing, getting close to zero recognition and respect.
Yep.
Period.
Yeah. You know, another thing too that I just kind of thought about, so many of these, guys, have young families and that. I mean, the guys that are drivers, and uh, have, a couple children, and a beautiful wife and everything like that. And I see them and they go and do what they do and with such precision, generally, the professionals that we rub shoulders with all the time. And I just think it's interesting to think that, they're even putting all that on the line in danger of being injured or killed.
Yeah.
And they've got a beautiful
Yeah.
boy and a little boy and a little girl and a nice wife.
And shouldn't they be a hero for that?
You would think. I mean, it's ballsy to have to do what we're talking about.
Right.
And they get, nobody really thinks much about it. It doesn't seem as though, and it's just costing them shitloads of money
Right.
to do it and running all over the country away from their kids and their wife. Of course, some of them travel some of the time, but you can't do it all the time. And so I'm just saying they're really giving, and I respect a lot of the drivers that I have met, personally, and we've talked about that a little bit here and there. I'm saying, hey, we were mentioning Jake Ballin. I had some good times with him.
You had a good conversation with him at Volusia.
And I had a good time with him at Lernerville. And other people like that have taken time over the years to interact, in a really, really wonderful way and find out that they're real people and that they're really, really, really nice guys. And that really cheers my heart. Because they're all not that way.
Yeah, they're not. We learned the hard way about Carson.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Apparently.
Here and there.
Apparently.
Well, I mean, I just was talking to him regular, and he just kind of was. He just had won a race too in Fremont, Ohio, one of the one of the roughest races last year. That was just horrible. In fact, Johnny said it was like he'd never seen so many cars flip in one night as that. In his whole career, 28 years or whatever it is.
Right.
And I went over to, at the end, Carson was there, and I went over and said something to him. Well, that's just, he was like kind of arrogant about it. And, I mean, I'm just saying that amongst us, but he was just kind of arrogant, kind of, I guess you'd say it kind of
asshole.
Asshole-ish.
Or a rich fucking prick.
Sort of. And I never knew what kind of guy he was at all. And I wasn't, and I granted he just won the race and he was excited and everything, but I just didn't expect a reaction like that from him. That's just my personal opinion.
But that's your first time interacting.
Yeah, I never had, but I didn't
had.
expect that he would be like that. Yeah, it was a good race. We did really good, or this or that. I could see that, but it was just kind of.
How did it actually go?
How did he say it?
So you came up to him.
Yeah, it was at the end of the race, and
after the race was over,
yeah.
Not the end of the race. The end of the race is like the last 5 laps.
20 minutes, 20 minutes or so after it was over.
Okay.
And I was just milling about through the pits and going back to my vehicle and stuff, and I said something to him about Well, you did it, man. Something. I just said something,
Positive.
yeah, something nice, or whatever. I was decent toward him, and he was like, he said, how do you say it? It's like, well, we just had it tonight or something like I just know how to run this track or something like that is kind of how he said it or whatever. And I'm like, there ain't no knowing how to run a track like this because I never seen such a fiasco in my life.
So
You know what I
it
mean?
wasn't
It
necessarily
wasn't
asshole. It was more so like
like cocky
yeah.
kind of. It came off that way, sort of like I'm just that much
I'm just
I'm
that
that
much
much better
than
than everybody
else.
else, and I was the one to figure it out and pull it off. And there ain't no figuring this some bitch out. It just sucked. I mean, the track was horrible,
Right.
and you know, I knew it in my own heart. Johnny had, said it on the mic, that he ain't never seen nothing like this before. And it had rained and it was muddy. And I mean, it had a lip on it like that, around the edge. And they tried everything to, take a,
Well, and how can you say you figured it out better than the locals? Like,
yeah,
how would you know that
well,
better?
it was World Outlaws,
Well, I know,
race,
but
but
it's like, how can you say you figured it out better than everybody else?
he
Like,
just got lucky because it was fucking rutted all up so horrible.
he probably started up front.
Well, I don't even know all that because I don't even remember. But all I'm saying is it just hit me wrong, kind of. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He's probably okay, but I've never been around him. I've never been around him again if I got the same attitude. But other ones though that I've been around have been very gracious and very very kind and nice. Decent guys.
Even Donnie?
I like Donnie, and I like
He's
Donnie.
good.
I got to meet one of my most special times of it would have been about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was out by their souvenir trailer.
The Donnie
Donnie
shots.
Schatz's souvenir trailer where his mom was, like selling the shirts out of there and stuff. And his dad was still alive. It was about a year before his father passed away. And as I remember it, Donnie come out of the third corner. He was beating everybody's ass. He was doing really good, and he come about going into the third corner. The ignition box just shut off. The car just shut off, and here he's coasting. And two or three of them fly by him, as he's like going toward the thing, and his dad was there, and I had never met him before or anything. And I said, yeah, that was too bad, and he goes, well, that's just racing, that's racing. And then I, read about, heard about, his story and everything. And then they did I think really there was only just a few bad edits in it, but other than that, they did that Donnie Shot story, that video, the half-hour, 45-minute deal about the whole thing and about their family and what they come up through and and all of his truck stops and all that, a couple truck stops and everything like that. And I just thought it was really really interesting, and I got to meet his father before he passed away, and just as he had just a good attitude about it. That's racing, and it really is. It's just that's the way it goes. But it just, you hate to see something like that.
Who are
He
some
was
other
dominating.
guys that struck
I
you
like
very well besides Jacob and Donnie?
Well, one of my favorite times, of course, I go to Eldora quite a bit because I like it, and being an Ohio track and all that, of course, you've got tons of Sheldon fans there, and just there's just tons of Sheldon fans. That's just all there is to it, because Jack had raced, all through the Midwest and stuff like that for years and years, and I remember seeing him win way back when they had the $1 million sprint car race back in the olden days.
Right.
And I was there for it. And I've got the right rear off of that car still in my pole barn, off of that car. And he gave it to me, and I kept it, and I still got it. And I'd always thought always thought that I'd get a rim one day and make a table out of it, or something, at my house or whatever.
Right.
And just never did. And I haven't yet. But just saying, so I just remember when Jack won that, and it was very exciting, and I was like, right down there in the pits and all that, and I liked Jack, and I'd been around him on and off over the years, and then I think it was about 2 years ago, Sheldon won. I don't know if it was King's Royal. It was a big race. I think it was about 2 to 3 years ago. He hit one. And no, they're at Eldora.
Okay.
And he won a big race, and Jack was there that night. And as he was coming up out of the stands, I was coming up out of the stands, and he kind of, I don't know, I said, man, that was great. We kind of put our hands up, and just kind of slapped my hand, like, or whatever. And I said, that was really, really great. He goes, yeah, my boy did it, and I could just tell he was touched by the whole thing, as much as he'd won and everything, it was like right at the end of the race, and he, come up out of there, and I happened to be the guy that was there. And so, those are, these are just certain times and certain things. And, I just, and I've used to, still cheer for Sheldon and stuff. He's just, just a good guy as far as that goes. And he's either, like you said, he either rips it or rips the lip or wrecks it. You're one of the two.
Yeah.
And when he's on, though. And when he's not, he's not.
Oh, but then he can be on for 2 laps and then fucking off for one.
I kind of felt like he had something holding him back, like last year for sure. I think it was, and maybe a little bit the year before. It seemed like his engines just didn't seem like they really were really running up hard generally. But that would have been, like 2 years ago that I'm talking about, at Eldora, that he actually won. But he had, I think he had half the year that his motors weren't, something was just not right.
Right.
And I don't know what it is. And I do think, we talked about family and stuff like that too. I think some of these guys, I mean, they love what they do. They're under contract anyway. I mean, I don't know, and they want to win, but then they get a young family and everything like that. Do they try as hard as they did before because they have more on the line now?
Right.
And it just makes me wonder.
They're just going in the corner thinking, I got to win. They're thinking of everything else.
Yes. And, kind of, they've got a lot to lose.
Hesitation.
Yes. And it don't take, as well as I do. Hesitation, you're done.
Yeah.
You can't hesitate. It has to be natural. And if you hesitate one bit, you're either wiped out or you're dead, potentially.
And then you'll get on the news.
Then you get on the news and it'll all be over. And maybe our show should
They'll
be
have
over.
a memorial race.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. The memorial, that memorial race thing is kind of cool in a way, but I mean, after a while, it kind of, do they kind of die off? Do they kind of die off after a while? And then somebody else will like kind of, I mean, at tracks, I've kind of seen that over the years, It just makes me wonder, how that goes. And I just kind of wondered if, they got the Joe Schmo Memorial Race, and then it's like, I mean, and then you've got the other races like Brian Doty, or what's the name?
Brad Doty.
Yeah, Brian Doty race.
Brad
Doty, that's it. I remember Brad when, back years ago when I first started getting into going to racing and all that. And, I don't know. They have those traditions, and then you have the other fella that ran a gravel car before they got killed up in Wisconsin 5 years ago. Jason Johnson. He was good too, and they got a Jason Johnson Classic. And now they move that from track to track, right?
It seems like.
Now they're moving it from track to track.
I don't know the full situation.
I'm just saying, like they used to have it at one track, like it seemed like for a while. And then now they're like having it different ones. But, I don't know. Those, I guess they just kind of go away after a while.
Right.
And this has been only, he's only been, passed away What,
8
6 years, 8 years,
8 years,
6,
yeah.
7 years, something like that. So that's fresh in people's minds, and of course you have turnover in people, instead of fans, and then they don't, who's that guy,
Yeah.
nobody even knew, and Jason Johnson was, to me, he was a very good racer. Never knew him, but he was very talented.
Yeah.
And these freak accidents happen,
Yeah.
you
But
just do.
it's just horrible. Back to my point.
Yeah, that they
That's
don't
what has to happen
recognition.
for you to beat somebody.
You die. Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
But you only influence the people that you do, and you can only make impressions so many times. You know what I mean, on people before they get bad attitude, or, oh, I don't like that guy, I'm not cheering for him, kind of like as a fan, and then you meet them and they're like, I'll be honest with you, like years ago I didn't really think I liked Donnie Schatz. Now I think the world of him. And now I know that he talks to you, and he's, friendly and generous toward you also. And, I've talked to him myself before since, but 7, 8 years ago, I didn't care about him. I
Right.
didn't care about him. But these things develop
Right.
as times of being a fan. And I'm not the guy that only goes to 1 or 2 races a year. I go to quite a few. So, I get around and get to see people in different scenarios and all that sort of thing. So makes it interesting. And I just love it, and I love the sport, and it's been a pleasure meeting you, and it's been fun. So
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're gonna have to hang out more.
I feel like you're sold on the Nazis. Actually,
No, I think it's interesting. Have
it's
I
a, it's
thought
an
of it? And I
interesting
know
thought.
quite, and
It's
I
an
know quite,
interesting thought.
and I know quite a bit about all that stuff too. I mean, as
And,
far as
right,
in my
and so what my
background,
proposal is
I
not
think it's
far
interesting.
off.
I think it's interesting.
If anyone who believes that the Earth could be flat, my theory is way more believable.
Okay,
Way more believable than that.
I had this guy. You're gonna think this.
Now, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna kind of not change the subject, but I'm gonna try to tell you something. And there is documentation on this. Okay.
Okay, let's hear it.
So
Hold on, we got to put your proper intro up. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
If you're gonna switch, we gotta put it up here.
This is what we're talking about here.
Well, I mean, we're going to do that, yeah.
When I tell you here, it's going to be interesting.
Right, let's hear it.
I had an old Romanian guy that grew up under communism that I didn't know who he was, but I had heard of him through my mother that worked at Ford Motor Company, and she told me about this guy, and everybody thought he was a weirdo and everything like that. He'd bring his lunch, and it'd be a paper sack with 4 tomatoes in it, out of his garden, and a salt shaker maybe, just eat tomatoes like like apples. That was his lunch. Okay. He just ate them for lunch. Well, he's Romanian, but the point of the matter is I'd heard about this guy, and then later on he'd actually came.
We got to get this up here. Hold on.
He'd actually came to Thanksgiving, at our house and stuff and everything, and I got to know him and everything, and we called him Romanian John. He passed away years ago. He ate right and everything and all that, and died at 68.
Continue. Skip that.
So part. I'm just saying, yeah, you were trying to eat right around here, right? So
he said 68 though.
Yeah, something like that. He did get retired, but
if you get to the 60s, you're doing something right in today's society.
Well, it's sad but true.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got to know him later on in life, and everything, and he was forgot what I was going to say. It's really important too.
The Nazis taking over.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The biggest thing is these people that grow up under communism don't appreciate what we have, for sure, and they use that, the governments use that fear of communism thing
Mm-hmm.
forever, over and over
To
and over and
control.
over, to control people and to control other societies. And, you know,
Yeah, because we don't live in
We're-
capitalism at all.
well, we're supposed to, it's like the Vietnam War. What was the Vietnam War fought over? I mean, we fought over that for Michelin Tire Company.
Right.
Here we are, because for over the rubber plantations that were, you know, in Vietnam and stuff. And these it comes back to all this corporate stuff.
Communism is what I call it.
You do. And that was what did Vietnam. We lost 52,000 guys, gals, Vietnam over it. So it's just a kind of a interesting scenario or interesting mess that we've got ourselves into. But okay, so I just remember what he told me, and he was a smart guy, and he read a lot.
The Romanian.
Yes, the Romanian guy. He he said he had these different websites that he wrote down for me. This is when the internet was like just starting.
Okay.
Yeah, the www thing.
90s.
Google wasn't even around. I mean, it was like www
Windows
dot
98
whatever.
shit.
Yeah, way back. And I remember him giving me this, and I thought he was crazier than a fruitcake. And somebody will have to look this history up to be able to believe what I'm saying, okay? But he had this website that he wrote down. He wrote a whole list of them down, but it was BritishAgent.com.
Whoa.
And I'm like, what in the world are you talking about, John? He goes, you got to go read this. He says, you got to go read this.
That is off my theory.
I know. But Hitler
the
was
fucking lizard people.
Well, I don't know about the lizard people, but
Queen Elizabeth.
Oh yeah,
a lizardbeth, not
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
A lizardbeth.
yeah. Well, they were very.
Oh my god! Continue.
So anyway,
Hitler was a British
agent. It used to be, and I don't even know if it shows up anymore.
Well, and he's not German, you know, so makes sense.
The intermarrying also of the
Yeah.
blue bloods and all this, and the English and the
royals.
German royals and the Dutch
Yes.
people, and you know,
Poland.
and all of that.
Yes.
And then the corporate part of that, and
You just blew my whole fucking scheme
Royal
apart.
Royal Dutch Shell and all
Oh
that.
my god! Oh no!
Yeah. You know, this is
what do I do with this guy?
It's the
guys?
big
Do
tie-in.
we throw him away?
No, but the thing of it is, though, is I'm
Is
serious.
he okay? So how were you sold on this?
Well, I wasn't sold on it necessarily.
But
I never got
made
deep
some
into
sense.
it. No, there are people, and I think a guy wrote a book on it too.
NI6.
And the deal was the book was called, or the
theory.
website was, Hitler was a British agent, and he was tied into somehow at some point. You know, here Germany is like sending V2s or whatever into, you know, London or over into England and all that kind of thing. I don't know what the premise was of the whole thing, but I'm just saying that it's a whole nother theory about things that we don't know and don't think about. And
do we keep going, or do you need to end right now? Can we go another hour or no?
No.
Oh, come on!
think
It's
so.
only 2 a.m.
Is that all?
You said you weren't going to 3. You're
No,
about to get
I
there.
did.
He's about to get there, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know about all that.
Oh, you're about to get. Can
What
I
do
go
we
pee?
got?
We'll
30.
get there.
What do we got? 32 people watching,
I know.
or what?
They're 31. They're very attentive.
Did I
We were
guess
at like
that?
95 earlier.
Oh, that's cool.
You scared them away.
Probably did.
Can I pee?
Yeah. If you
Okay.
want.
Okay. Okay. Read some comments. Oh God, it's all dank.
If I can see it.
It's all the dank guy.
Oh yeah.
Comment, people.
Cali Cartel. He's chasing Kyle and Rico.
Probably talking about Carson.
Oh wow. Oh okay. It was a cowboy up. I love to tell some stories with Broke Joe. I'd love to.
Do you like Broke Joe?
Who, me?
Yeah.
He's wanting to know if I like Broke Joe. I think Broke Joe's interesting. I don't know, you know, I only know what I know about him from, you know, what we've talked about, and I don't know. I think it'd be an interesting guy to meet, and it'd be an interesting guy to go to a race with or something, probably. Hopefully I'll get to meet him one day, I guess. But just saying, You know, yeah, you say he's always negative?
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
You know, seemingly, I mean, it'll sound negative to you no matter what,
Oh,
because,
shut up.
well, wouldn't it though? I mean,
No, I don't
well,
care.
well, I'm just saying, I mean,
I
you
agree
can
with
take
him
his,
sometimes.
but I mean, when he's talking about when he was personal, kind
Oh,
of
I
sort
don't
of
give a
personal
fuck.
attack,
No, he's
kind
right
of
though.
like, yeah, I'm not saying
I
he's
mean,
not.
he's pretty close.
He's not stupid for
No,
sure.
I mean, yeah, I mean, what I'm doing is pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
why
mean,
you're here.
yeah, but you know, you
So
know,
hold on, back
so
to
back to Broke Joe.
Hitler. No,
Well,
Hitler
that was
and
to do with,
British agent.
yeah.
This is unbelievable.
No, I'm serious. When you go and start looking this stuff up tomorrow or whenever, you'll go, what in the world?
Does it align with what I'm saying?
I don't know if it does or not. I'm just telling you, it was
No,
another theory.
No. Based on what you did,
It was
researching this.
I didn't. This has been. We're talking 15 years ago or something, dude. I haven't thought about this in a long time. But there was a guy that had this theory about that he was involved with. What was the head guy of England? Oh, I can't even think of his name. I can see him, but I can't think of his name.
Wasn't Prince Henry?
No, one of the.
Not
during
Russia.
World War II.
Churchill?
Yes, Churchill. That Hitler and Churchill had some kind of connection somehow.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Like I said, I don't know any of the theory about it, but it's just something to look into. And I haven't taken the time to study it, but I mean, I did look it up though years ago. And it was kind of interesting. And you've come up with this, you know, idea.
My idea makes more sense than that.
Well, so far, but you haven't even looked into this other.
I don't have to. No. Okay, so my theory has no evidence. Whoa. And my theory on that is that evidence is provided. Hold on. The golden rule for history is the victors tell the story.
Always. Yeah, the victors history. Write the history books.
Right. So my theory is based on the story for the manipulational reasons.
Well, they were manipulating the masses.
For the control.
Mm-hmm. And they've kept us under control really good.
Dude, your Russian and U.S. working together makes more sense under my theory.
Yeah, well, I've thought of it.
Because that means that the Nazis have run everything since then.
Think about it now. Why, if this NASA deal, we got the International Space Station up there, right?
Apparently.
Well, I mean...
Well, it's past the firmament.
Well, that's true. But I mean, people are going somewhere, and they're up there, and now they're stuck up there?
I guess.
That's what I've heard.
They're hanging out.
They've got enough
They can't
food.
send us pictures of the moon from there, but I mean, that's fine.
They never could.
They can't do it. They can't figure out how to send us pictures of the moon from the space station.
But yeah,
I could send you a picture from here.
Mm-hmm.
You're 45,000 miles from me or something.
All the NASA stuff is all like fake. What would you call it? Caricatures or whatever.
It's computer generated.
Yeah. It's not like
But
regular.
you're telling me one guy from the International Space Station, who's all the way up there apparently, can't take his little cell phone that I'm sure he has and take a picture of the moon from there. Why can't you do that? I ain't seen that image.
Well, they got all kinds of, and they have cameras all over these vehicles.
Well, why can't you show me a picture of the moon from the International Space Station?
With the shadows, right? And with
everything else. It should be right there. It should be closer, right? A little different. A little different. You ain't got the light.
Mm-hmm.
We have the natural light and the radiation or pollution from major cities.
All that.
Yeah, you can't get me. I could go to the toppest of a mountain and get you a beautiful picture of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get me a better one from all the way up there.
Well, I was taking moon pictures on the cruise.
I'm just saying, the guys who are fucking all the way up there can't get me one. Why?
I don't know. But I was, like I say, I was taking pictures of the moon on my,
phone.
$1,000 camera, you know, and
And they got all of our tax money
Yeah,
wrapped up. How much
yeah.
does fucking NASA take? It's like $400 million a
it's
year.
a big money launder. That's all the whole thing always has ever
Yeah,
been.
But Elon's
And-
not going to expose that though.
You can't go to you got to go to a VP distributor. You got to go to a VP
Is VP
distributor.
in on it?
No,
You're saying you're connecting them to the fucking Oklahoma bombings.
I'm just saying.
The Tesla truck.
Well, I mean, everything's connected to everything.
Oh my god!
But I mean, how? I'm just saying that's pretty coincidental that there's two things like that, and that if the feds are really as good as they are,
It's supposed to be.
why would they not go and do their work?
Well,
unless you're sitting here looking at
unless
unless they're sitting there goofing off or been getting away with whatever they've been getting away
This is my
with.
problem with every terrorist attack, every issue, every problem.
Yep.
They all have fucking cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
They all have communications device.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the NSA.
Yep.
They can hear everything they're doing at every moment.
Yep.
So my point is, they're like,
they don't
whether they're going to shoot a school or whether they're going to blow up a fucking bank or whatever, they already can hear what you're doing.
Right. If they want to. And then they geofence.
Well, hold on now. AI can detect these things.
Right.
AI can hear it. They utilize AI to the next degree, which I think AI is bigger than we can even concept.
So far.
AI might be in control right now. They just don't want us to know.
Right.
But every warning symbol is always in their face. Just like Pearl Harbor. And we're talking about fucking back then.
Right.
In today's world. I got 6 cameras and 2 mics on that phone.
Mm-hmm.
And most people do.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't nothing surprisingly happening.
Mm-hmm.
They got satellites that can read the fucking label on a Marlboro cigarette pack.
They've had them forever.
And you're telling me an illegal immigrant comes across the border without you knowing?
Yeah, right.
Fuck you.
Yeah, right. How dumb can we be?
But the illegal immigrants make a lot of money for the system. Because they come in on fake Social Securities and they pay taxes into the fake Social Security and it never gets withdrawn.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. That's true. True, too. But they cost a hell of a lot of money, too.
No, but it's a small... Well,
you know what I'm saying.
We could get in a whole debate about union and anti-union.
Well, I wasn't talking about that.
Because all of the illegal immigrants... Well, the South is all about anti-unions.
I know, and it's...
The reason they're anti-union is because they're utilizing immigrant workers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the South that is utilizing...
That's some good point there. I haven't really looked at that angle on it.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good point.
100% why?
But it's always been against union, the South.
That's because they utilize immigrant workers. If you're unionized, you can't get around that.
Farming stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you're unionized, you can't get around that. Mm-hmm. It's a loophole.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
I've already looked at all this.
That's true. I see what you're saying.
I'm from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a non-union state.
Right.
Because they utilize immigrant work.
Mm-hmm.
And the government benefits from illegal immigrant workers because there's a lot of money going in, being taken out of taxes and all this every single week.
Mm-hmm.
They just take the money. Nobody ever files.
Right.
Imagine how much money how much money illegal immigrants pay into the system on fake Social Securities.
Right.
That never get withdrawn.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an estimated 30 million, right? Say all of them have a 9-to-5 job, averaging $100 a week. Averaging. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. Hold on.
It ain't 30 as much million, as Elon's finding.
30 million times 100 every fucking week. What is that? Hold on. I want to look it up. Go ahead. No.
And whatever they get, don't forget.
Exactly.
They're sending back home to Grandpa and Grandma or Mom
Yeah,
and
but
Dad.
that's from the tax money.
Yeah, after.
30 million immigrants times 100. times 52 weeks. $156 trillion. That's a trillion, sir.
Okay.
$156 trillion that nobody sees.
So are they paying?
Nobody sees.
So is that department then paying for them to be taken care of and put in hotels and?
I mean, maybe, but that's going to take out what? Maybe a tick of that?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Illegal immigrants, for as long as they've been here,
right,
have been giving our government
a lot of money.
Estimated. This is a low estimate. 100 a week.
Sure.
$156 trillion a year. What's our deficit? 33 trillion.
You got it solved.
Lying motherfucking
you got it solved right there.
Motherfuckers.
Right? You got it solved right there.
Fuck you, you anti-union Southern motherfucking utilizing the illegal immigrants. Government's on your side. It's all a fucking game. This is why I say it's a game. So I don't believe them.
I agree with you.
$156 trillion.
I didn't think it was that much.
That we just did the math, right?
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Let's just say this is estimated. Well, this is very low.
Yeah.
10 million immigrants.
It's way more than that. It's
times 100 a week times 52 weeks. $52 trillion a week.
The general
or a year, sorry.
Why doesn't the general public
do basic math?
Yeah, why don't they do that and put that in their face?
They're worried about what their fucking political guy told them.
That's what I'm saying. They would question their senator.
Because this would make them rebel against Trump.
Holy shit! Yeah,
it's a psychological warfare.
Yeah,
and that's why, honestly, Alex Jones's name, InfoWar, Prison Planet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, what could be better than that?
We're estimating at the bottom end $52 trillion of money going missing.
Yep.
The bottom end because of illegal immigrants.
And that's just one sector.
And this is the bottom end. 10 million. Then there's I put the 30 million.
Well, you're only talking about one. I mean, there's ones that come from all over the world.
Oh, well, I mean, exactly.
You're not even, you're kind of, they don't all come from Mexico. That's for damn sure.
Well,
that was the number. That's a Mexican number.
That is the Mexican number. Hold on, let me see if I can get the calculator up there. Look, guys, we're not fucking lying here. Look, here's the math. Look, there's an estimated 30 million.
That's right. And
for the last 20 fucking years.
It's probably more than that, for
so
sure.
30
officially.
That's 30 million, right? So they come over here, illegal Social Securities. They go to work. They collect a check at the end of the week. That check already has the Social Security taken out, the income tax taken out, all of it taken out. We're estimating maybe 100. It's way more than that.
Oh, yeah.
If they're making 1,000, it's like 300. They're taking the money.
They're doing real.
They're taking, let's say $1,000, or we'll say 700. So about $100 is taken out of a $700 check. So they get a $700. Yeah, from that, and then the $100 goes to tax. $600 they take $100 and give back to their family, whatever. But there's $100 every week coming out of these 30 million. I'm just saying.
And then that's getting spent into the economy, whatever they got left.
But 100 of this out of these 30 million workers is going to the government out of the check, income tax, Social Security, whatever. Look, times 100. This is every week. This number here, $3 trillion a week. From illegal immigration going to the system. 52 weeks in the year.
Yeah.
$156 trillion. That's with a T, guys.
But how many senators and state reps?
Where's that money going?
Yeah, where's it going?
That ain't going back in a tax refund.
It's a money launderer. again.
That's like the debt 4 times.
We don't
5 times.
We don't have a debt. We don't at all. Haven't had.
And this has been my argument. When I
that-
hear illegal immigration, this is what I think about.
Mhm.
Because this is the true math of the situation.
Mhm.
And this is the low estimate. I said $100.
Oh, I know.
Like I said, if I take it down to fucking, like I said, 10 million immigrants at $100. 52 trillion a year going in that's not accounted for, withdrawn, anything, not being touched.
They got that's a whole lot of money they can piss away on space and all this other stuff that they supposedly are doing.
Right.
That they aren't doing half of it.
Right. And they're also spending it into the economy. They're buying the gas. They're buying the groceries.
Right. And that just perpetuates the whole thing. And so it just keeps going.
Somebody just said a dumbass comment. What a fucking idiot. You're assuming they are working. Most of them are sucking the system. Really? You know, Mexicans in the South sucking the system? Or are they going in the fields and working and collecting a check?
They're doing something.
Yeah.
And they got side gigs too. They're not lazy.
Okay, dumb fuck.
They're not lazy.
Let's just say maybe 500,000 out of the 30 million. See, maybe 500,000 out of the 30 million are working. Let's just say they're taking 100. Let's just say they're paying that every week. 2.6 trillion. You fucking idiot.
Yeah. Math don't
And
lie.
how long has that been happening? Like, it's 35 years? 91 trillion. Where's it at?
This whole thing's a joke.
You are such a fucking idiot. But you have a comment like that because of the psychological warfare, the propaganda machine, the fucking nut jobs.
But again, though, nobody is laying it out like you're laying it out right now, and somebody needs
with a fucking basic calculator.
And Elon, yeah, but I'm just saying, and Elon's going and exposing all this shit, and everybody's going, "Wow, how come we didn't know about that?"
Well,
you could have.
Who do you think is 196 years old?
Yeah.
Paying into Social Security.
There are people. Yeah.
These fucking immigrants are the ones who are a part of those millions of dollars a year. We're pointing out trillions a year.
It's crazy. It ain't nothing. Yeah. Joke, eh? Joke.
Anyways, guys, we'll take the calculator off the screen. Y'all can't handle it. Y'all don't want the truth.
Reality.
You don't want the truth. But that's why they're anti-union in the South.
Oh. I never really thought about that, but I get it now. I really never thought about it.
That's why.
And I thought about it today too.
It's immigration. And it's a slave state.
And the other thing too, that with all this, how would you say it? Infrastructure that we supposedly want, in the roads being built and all that, where are you going to get all them people to do it? I mean, I was in Orlando today, watching these road construction guys, and damn near all of them were Mexicans, and they're making good money. They got real jobs. They were papered, or whatever.
Yeah, like I said, 100 a week. Those guys are paying like 600 a week in taxes that they're not going to claim.
Yeah.
Right.
Those guys that I saw working today,
I know plenty of
electricians,
construction workers making fucking $3,000 a week.
Sure.
And they're not claiming a dollar because if they claim it, they get caught.
That's right. Yep. No, true story.
So do we want to put the calculator up there for some of you? Let's just say there's 500,000 people making the real wages we're talking about. We're talking about $600 probably in taxes on a $3,000 check. 52 weeks a year, 15.6 trillion a year on 500,000, which is probably a fucking lie. Where's that going, guys?
Yeah.
Where's it going?
No doubt.
Anyway,
let's hang it up.
We'll hang it up. We'll hang it up.
All right.
I see the chat, but the chat got a little drunk with this Jason guy. That's billions, Chaz. Oh, is it billions? I thought it was
Even if it is billions,
no. That's not billions.
100,000.
Check the fucking Oh, is it billions?
Don't matter.
It's
Even if it is, it's
billion,
a shitload of money that we're not seeing.
It is.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of money, and it's being perpetrated on the ignorant American people.
Yeah.
Wherever they are, whoever they are. Yeah. But
Right.
you can't get car sponsorships on your race cars or anything like that because there's not. It's too hard to do that, or too hard to this, or too hard to that. You know.
Yeah.
You can't get it. There's not enough money out there to sponsor a race car or to, no matter what it is in this day and age.
Right. It's still a lot of money, and we were doing low estimates.
You were being very conservative.
I mean, if we're talking about, like I said, I mean, if we're doing just 15, how about half of the population? And we're doing a realistic tax week, which is about $250. And then we're doing that by 52. We're talking about $195 billion a year. And you do that by 20. It's just the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the unions. And that's why the South is anti-union, because unions would not allow immigrant rape. They would not allow it.
I wouldn't. I worked union for a lot of years, and we didn't have illegal aliens working amongst us for sure,
because the industry doesn't allow it.
Not a one. Mm-hmm.
If you unionize the electricians and the construction industries of the South, you would lose half your force.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, we got to go to sleep now. We got caught with trillions and billions. We were reading more zeros.
Close enough.
I'm double vision. You got me all drunk on this organic beer tonight, so I can't see straight.
You ain't drunk. No more than the man in the moon.
Oh, really? Okay, right. Nazi.
No.
All I'm saying is I did not see that coming. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not see it coming.
Mm.
You know what's funny when I say, did they win?
Mm.
They always do kind of say, when you hear people, they say, they talk about, it's always they.
Oh, yeah.
The word they.
Sure.
They run the system.
They run the system.
They control the. Who is they? Did they win the war?
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, I agree with you.
Are you scared about this? Are you going to talk to George about it?
I'm going to sleep. So
God.
I'm going to go to sleep. I'm not going to lay there all night. I can tell you that much.
I'm going to jack off first, and then you said sheets on the.
Yeah, no wonder. Shut up. Hang up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thanks for tuning in. Did you have fun? That's the question.
Enjoyable, yeah. It's always good.
We're gonna invade Hendry County.
Yeah,
and hold on, he's not Rico. He's not missing a hand. They're both here.
Both here.
Yeah. All right, Rico. Get well soon.
That wasn't nice. I can't believe I said that. What the hell did you do that for?
Well, it's late. Nobody will see this. Hopefully.
Yeah, right.
We will be in Hendry County. You'll be there too. We got you in. We got you a hotel.
Yeah.
Halfway.
Yeah, whatever.
You got to touch me at least. You got to reach around at least twice.
Yeah, right.
And we got you into the pit pass. You were there on the phone. You're going to be in the pits. I
heard it.
Or at least access.
I'm all good.
Hendry County, Swamp Cabbage this weekend. And then the St. Pete. I don't know if that means St. Pete, you're Peter in my mouth. But
no.
Plant City's coming. We got to do another live at Plant City.
Oh,
me and you at Plant City. Is it beautiful there? You said.
Oh,
but we can't drink at Plant City. You said. We have to.